Hey guys, this is ISO from HousingTalk. I am back today with a visit to one of my favorite GPO studios, San Studio, on JP. This is a studio that I've wanted to visit for quite some time now. I just was waiting for San to make more than enough so that I had tons to visit. I've been to San Studios many times over the years, and he always creates very visually stunning masterpieces. And I just thought, you know what, let's pay him a visit in Dawn Trail and see what new studios he has to offer us. So for this particular tour, San Studio currently has about 17 different rooms open, and this is going to be across Mana and Meteor. So I will be going to Mana first for the first few rooms, and then ending the tour over on Meteor because there's quite a few on that side. So let me link the status that I made earlier this morning so that you guys can kind of follow along his Studio XIV page, which I pasted right below in the reply. That basically has all of the addresses that San has up right now. And basically, if you guys don't know, Studio XIV is a Japanese website that the Japanese designers use. They used to use Housing Snap, but just a lot of foreigners, like people from NA, EU, and OCE, started using Housing Snap. So a lot of the JP designers migrated to Studio XIV. If you see, they kind of partner with Housing Eden on X. I believe they're kind of like a subsidiary or like a collaborator of Housing Eden, but basically Studio XIV specifically focuses on studios, whereas Housing Eden is kind of like the general FF14 housing category. So so if you want to see more of San's studios and San's work, you can check my status there, and his Studio XIV is in the reply. I also posted a few links to G-Posers as well because I found it was fitting to at least try to take some G-Poses while I'm here, because like I said in my status, San is basically the emperor of G-Pose studio creations, and I want to do his builds justice, so I think I'm going to try to take some G-Poses here as well as I visit them. But yeah, without further ado, let's start with this first build that he has here. So I'm going to try to read this as best as I can because I'm not sure if San speaks English or not, but all of his posts and his Studio XIV posts and his Twitter posts, they're all basically in Japanese. So like I've been learning, so let me just see if I can kind of like translate a bit of it. So the first one we are at right now is called View from Windpath Garden. So Windpath Garden is basically a zone in the Dawn Trail MSQ in the Living Memory zone, which is the last zone. And what he says here is, the description says, a terrace with a panoramic view of the city somewhere in my living memory. So I guess this is kind of like San's perspective on what he believes living memory is. So I'm just gonna put the actual title of this and the address and also the nearest aetheryte as well, so you guys can kind of follow along. So that's the information there. So yeah, in this build, like honestly, like I don't know if you guys have seen last year, I actually made a build pretty much right when 7.0 dropped. It was one in the living memory. It was titled Otis. Also in the kind of like an apartment FC room, and I'm just glad that someone else did did their take on living memory, because his is much different from what mine was. Mine was kind of like a singular structure, like where the Alexandrian castle was, and it had many Thavnarian tabletop lights floated into the building to make it look very dynamic, just like the one singular building. But it seems like here, San kind of went for like the more cityscape effect with the multiple steel lockers kind of embedded into the stage panels and then kind of like offset from each other, and I think that's like a really cool effect. It definitely adds like a different spin on it, which I can appreciate. And yeah, San, if you do watch this VOD, or if you're out there, and I did tag you in the post, I think you did like a really fantastic job here, because I don't think most people would have used steel lockers per se in this one, just because the buildings are quite different. They're not like near, they're more so like Amrot buildings. But again, like, it's a really, really nice take, and I really love like the balcony that you put here. It's kind of like overlooking like from the garden, and I just thought like it was a really nice effect. But yeah, the music here is always going to get to me, because it's just a very emotional roller coaster in that final zone, and it's just, I don't know, there's something very serene about it, even though there's like an impending doom that's approaching, which is why I kind of like how he led with this pathway here. Let me just show you when I walk over. He led with this pathway over here. This is kind of like the door. The San uses this door quite a bit in his studios. Like, it's almost every single one has the exact door with the whole partition, and then also with like the little garden door inside. It's kind of like his signature. But yeah, like, as you can see here, he basically has all stone walls, the stone ground, got the little stone steps coming up, and then just kind of like flowers arranged on the side. And this is almost like a key lore hint that I don't know if you guys are aware of, but basically these flowers that kind of lead up to the little stage he has here is, if you guys remember, before the Otis trial, when you face him as kind of like under the mechanized control, like the clone of Otis, you actually see these exact flowers leading up to that battle. So basically, like, I've never played FF9 before, but I've read lore, and I heard that these 4 flowers actually have a significance in the lore, which is like, it's kind of like phases that Alexandria goes through. So I believe it's like the first one's kind of like birth, the second one's kind of like war, like strife kind of thing. White's kind of like resilience / reflection, and then the end color here, which is kind of like the muted yellow, that's like kind of like in contrast with like the golden yellow hue you see in the living memory. That's kind of just like the aftermath, like the reason why it's muted is because it's like who's still alive, who still believes in the Alexandrian word, and that's why it's dimmed down, because it's not like, the scene is not quite as bright as it should be, as how it's reflected in the actual living memory zone, which is bright gold, everything is good, everyone's happy. So that kind of dimmed yellow kind of just is a representation of it may have not been the best way to go in the story. So I thought that was kind of neat. I'm not sure if that was San's intention to make the 4 phases of flowers, but I believe so. It could just be for the aesthetic, because it looks really nice, and maybe he didn't want to just have one color going along both sides. But yeah, I think that's how I took it anyways, and like, correct me if I'm wrong, son, it could be totally wrong, but that's how I took it at least. So yeah, kind of moving on from the flowers though, if you kind of head up here, it's just like, I believe these partitions and these factory railings are all, well, not factory railings, wooden handrails are all just part of the aesthetic. Kind of like he's got like the brown tip and the kind of like fresh like timber tone to kind of offset how pronounced the gold is. And then of course he's got little like these like big trees kind of off the side, just also for aesthetic as well. But yeah, I'm really glad that he made this super bright, and then just kind of like made sure the iron chairs were left undyed, so that if you did sit here, you can kind of get really nice angles where your glam doesn't blend into the entire build. You've got a very like focal point right here where it's like black really stands out from the background, and so do these like colors as well, with the reds and stuff. Look at the reds matching with the actual Sildan table here. So yeah, it was really nice. And you got the little white here on the tabletop to kind of also offset that color of pure yellow. So yeah, it's really nice like here. And you know what, I might just like hop into a little G pose here, because I don't think I actually took one here the last time I came, because I believe when he did originally post this, it was locked. I'm just going to take a simple screenshot here. I'm not going to do anything fancy, but at least kind of capture this memory, just so that I have, you know, that like I came on stream and I have like, you know, something to remember his stream by. I'm gonna probably post a whole collection of these afterwards. Once I finish visiting all 17, I'll have one for each studio of his, and I may like post it and use his tag. But just for even transition slides, it's nice because each of these is very dynamic, and see as they're all completely different. So kind of nice to draw inspiration from, and maybe you guys like one day will make a studio yourselves. And San is definitely a great staple to be inspired from, because he's just been in this game for quite a number of years. And yeah, let me just go ahead and just take this little screenshot here, and oh, my eyes close. It's okay, that's what makes it natural. So yeah, and I really love how he used the orange Phasma here. Just going to change the camera angle there. Yeah, it just creates like just a slight tint of an orange hue. Not sure if you can really tell from my screen, but I know that when I kind of yank the graphics up, like this is kind of like an orange light that pours down. And the reason why that's good is because sometimes when people use the night Phasmascapes, or like the daylight one, it doesn't quite really like match, especially with like a gold yellow here. You need that kind of orange just to kind of offset even like these pile of gold and like the lights here. It kind of just blends in with the orange hue. So it's just very fitting for this build in particular. I don't really see many people using the Sunsets Phasmascape anyways, just because I feel like most people use monochrome colors anyways. It is a risk for people to use these warmer color tones. So yeah, yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say about this one. I mean, it's just aesthetically just absolutely beautiful, like all of his other builds. And yeah, let me just like head on over to the next one. Actually, I'm not going to leave the hall. I want the music to keep playing, so I'm just going to head on over to, where's the next one here? This next one's called the Mermaid's Bedroom. Oh, it's actually inside this build. Actually, it's behind this wall, it says here in the description, so let me just kind of like go through this. Alright. Oh, before I go into this build, actually, I was originally planning to do this with my co-host Alora, but I decided to do it on my own just because I kind of wanted to see if you guys would be interested in kind of more of these G-Pose studios. I kind of wanted to test it out. Most likely, this is just going to be like a VOD for people to review. I was just going to actually just make a recording of it and not actually stream it, but I thought, you know what, like if someone's online, at least they can see live like how I go about these studios. But here it just, yeah, like I said, Alora, like she's not here today, she's working, but I just thought, you know what, I've got the time off right now, I'm just going to go ahead and sift through these studios and see kind of what people are interested in. If this becomes like a thing where people kind of want me to do breakdowns of these studios, then I'd be more than happy to. But yeah, overall, like San just does very stunning work, so I'm just gonna go ahead and head right in to the next one. So this one he has here is called, I believe it's the Mermaid's Bedroom. And I won't post the address because it's basically like a room in this build, the last one. So, but, oh man, you know, not my favorite. style, but I'm sure there's someone who appreciates the sea kind of under the sea kind of look. Yeah, I really like how he used the Lim Lanes furniture here, and the nice Stormblood music to accompany it. Kind of like, I believe he's trying to like represent or at least emulate Onokoro or Tamamaizu, kind of like the under that bubble under the sea in Stormblood. It's like beautiful music feature that just matches that. But yeah, like I don't normally go for these kinds of builds just because there's a bit too many vibrant colors going on. Like the coral is absolutely beautiful, but it's not really my cup of tea. It is still very like nice how he made this though, because like look, you can see here with the trim, he's got the those very like ornate couches turned around to make a custom trim. I wonder if you can sit on these. No, you can't. It's pretty baked in there, but you can kind of like see like the lining here. It's where you usually sit, but he basically just turned them around and forced them into the stage panels to create kind of that like foam slash like kind of like sea trim almost, like the sea rocks kind of thing, right? It's kind of like you're at the bottom of the sea. See how you've got like the rock up here, and then down here you've got the accompanying sea rocks to kind of like level out the base here. So yeah, if you left it blank, it probably would have been okay as well, because this is kind of like the focal point here. But it's just like a nice little effect that he added. He probably had some extra slots, so he just kind of put them in there to kind of make like a smooth finish along the bottom here. But yeah, like I think, I'm guessing right here is where most people take their pictures. Or I guess if this is a bit too close, like maybe I should just go further in and take one here. I think I'm actually going to doze for this because, yeah, there's a lot going on here. Wow, I didn't realize he packed it so tightly here. Hang on, I gotta put that there, I forgot. But yeah, it looks like he packed this in pretty tightly. Like you got like the axolotl, the little the walrus fish that I keep forgetting, but he's got like the painter set. It's just like very artsy, very corally, very pastel colors that he used, and it just complements the little corals very well, just the overall color palette. And then he like purposely dyeing it like to be pastel blue, pastel pink, and same with the curtains in the backdrop as well. Actually, you know what, like a really good point that I need to mention is his backdrop here. I don't think many people would notice, but that's actually a purple background. And as you can see, the rest of the build is pretty much just pink and blue, like aside from this front part here, but it's barely noticeable because of the chandelier. But the reason why he used purple here, I believe, is because it would force your eyes to go into the centerpiece here. If this was a bit pronounced and it was even slightly lighter and it was like a pink tone, people would immediately stare at this little back wall here with the curtains, because the curtains draw you in, especially because it's very ornate at the top here. If he made this any lighter than the shade is now, I think most people, because most people aren't Lalas, when they see it, their eye level would be kind of like in this top half here. So if this was like a brighter pink, people would look directly at this back, which is not what he wants. He wants to force your vision. Like see, like it would probably be like up here. He wants to force your vision down here, so you can kind of see like the ornate gold, and then really look exactly what he did in this center part here, which he basically decked out this entire inside of the Lim Lanes furniture. So yeah, it's just really, it's a very subtle effect, but it helps. And if you guys want to like kind of like learn from him or like learn how to make Cheapo Studios, like those are just kind of like a few things like you'd want to consider if you do make them. Just kind of like, where am I going to draw my viewers' attention? Where's the first place they want to look at? And then you just kind of go from there. And you know, over time, once you make a couple, you'll get kind of like the experience of how like other people view it. But yeah, I think this is just like a really, although not my cup of tea, it was like done well, like considering how many different colors he had to balance here. Like this is insane. He's got like 6 or 7 different colors, but he still made it work. Even though it's not my cup of tea, he made it work. And you got to appreciate that. That's when you know someone's really good at what they do. Like I'm already a fan, even not liking this style. So, but in any case, I'm just gonna do a little doze here maybe, and maybe I'll take a little action shot instead. That's not a good spot. Maybe on this side. I kind of wish Alora was here now, because she would have been sleeping on the other side of here, albeit not facing me, but that's kind of normal for Alora. I don't know, let me see if I can grab like a little cute little G-pose here, just to kind of show it off a bit. I wonder if I should turn the lighting up a bit. Oh, that's a bit too bright. Maybe like there. 130. I usually try not to go above 130 because it kind of dilutes the natural lighting inside the build. So maybe I'll kind of, maybe 120 is a bit, 120 is fine. Because yeah, like I said, if you do it anywhere between like, I'd say like to save for G poses, if you're doing a G pose studio, don't go anywhere 20 above or below the natural lighting in there. Because once you get to like the 30 or 40 mark, it really like ruins the actual lighting of it. So like this is especially hard when you have like much darker builds, like that like aren't like bright like this. If they have no like kind of like lighting by themselves, and they rely on the natural chandelier lighting, or like the like the natural like light 1 to 5 or 0 to 5, then it gets much harder because you don't want to just completely ruin the whole mood. Like let's say you have like an Amarot build, right, and it's on light 0. You have like certain pockets of lighting, like even going like plus 10 is like really noticeable because there's no other natural lighting in that build, and it could make or break the effect that you want to give when you do post them, or even for yourself. It's like, why is it so bright all of a sudden? Well, it's because there's no natural lighting, and like really like the adjusting here when you do manual brightness adjustment, it doesn't really like take into the account of the base lighting. It kind of just like modifies it based on what it thinks it should be. So that's why it's kind of like really important to, like when you're taking the G poses, to make sure that this slider is not too much one way or the other. But like again, like I know like several people probably use shaders and stuff like that, which I don't. Like I just use the natural in-game stuff. Like I don't use any kind of extra stuff. I've never done that really, so I can't really say for sure like how many options are available if you do use shaders and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm just gonna take a little cute picture like this. I think that's a cute one. But yeah, it's just gonna try to offer a few little tips, just because I've been seeing these for quite a while now. So just every little thing I think helps. Oh, he's got a little message book here. I don't think there was one in the last one though. Can I actually put a comment? Oh, good. I'm gonna put my my famous comment. Oh man. Oh, there's actually not that many comments here. I'm surprised, honestly. Son, it just has such good stuff. Like I thought it would just be completely full. But yeah, I don't think I saw one in the... Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother to look. I'm just gonna move on to the next one here. Let's see. The next one is still on Asura. But this one's going to be in the lavender bed, so I'm just going to teleport over there now. So let me just head on over. What's the address here? I'm just gonna... So this next one's called Suzaku. Asura lavender beds. Yeah, Asura lavender beds, Ward 18, plot 55. So let's head on over there, make sure. Yeah, this one right here. Ooh. Yeah, from the pictures it looked quite different from the other two. I think this is one of his more recent ones that he did this year. But still cool that he's going back to his Stormblood roots. Still, he seems to really love like the Stormblood stuff, despite it being like years old. Yeah, I think I remember taking a picture here actually when my main was over here. Unfortunately for my alt here, I haven't really spent much resources on it, so I just kind of used my little like natural casual glam that I've been using everywhere pretty much. But yeah, this is, I wonder if you can sit here though. Oh yeah, you can. Let's just see if you can sit the right way though. Oh, I don't like how my feet are cut off there. Usually talls, like, I believe their feet would hang right over this, so it's not really a problem. But because I'm so small, that's probably the case. So I might just do like a standing one for this one. Can I jump up here maybe? Maybe sit here maybe? Is there a... Oh yeah, I can sit off to the side here actually. Let me sit, yeah, on this side because it's... Or on this side actually. I think my feet... Yeah, my feet just hang right past it, so... Perfect. Yeah, let's... Don't really have much to say about this one besides how well he did to accent the diagonals with wood slats, because it, like I said, when you think about making a studio, you want to make sure you're forcing the viewer's eye to it. So see how it's very like glowing and pronounced here. Immediately you're going to look at the wings, but also you're just going to keep your field of vision in the center piece here where the stage panel is, because he purposely put these wood slats here so it would force your eye to kind of roll into the middle from the left and then roll into the middle from the right. So yeah, it's got like a perfect center focal point here. And these little like gold trims, like, I mean, they might have just been for purely the aesthetic, but I also think it's also to capture your attention to the middle. I think those are the sides of, let me just look at this. I believe those are like just the fine edge of the flame armoires. If you turn them to the side, we got a little like column piece that sticks out, and that's on both sides here. But I think the reason why I put that in is because A, it's gold, it looks very ornate, which should be. It's this build, I believe, is about like the royal family for Kugane. You know, like Tsukuyomi, Hien, and stuff. A lot of like Asian cultures, you like to use red and gold. It's basically like their main colors, which is why the chandelier is as such as well. Too bad you couldn't dye these little tassels here. If you could, I'm guessing you would have dyed them red just to match the rest of the build, but I don't know if they let people dye chandeliers. Is that a thing now? Or like, is it just like, I completely forget if they let you dye it or not. But if they did, that would be really nice to just allow you to change these to red to match. But yeah, this is very traditional Asian, so I have a bit of mix of Japanese and Chinese, with also like the little plants on the side as well. And then of course like the middle part here is very much like a kingdom. Like it's kind of like the weaver's thing from the kingdom. Yeah, not much more to say about this one besides taking a picture, so I'm just going to see if I can snap a pretty good shot here, you know. I guess I will be facing the camera. And when I take these shots, I try not to get the top here, the parts that he doesn't want to show. Because if you look out here, see how the opposite side of the wall, he leaves completely bare. And a lot of JP designers do this because there's, let me just close this little thing here. A lot of JP designers, they don't worry about full immersion as long as you're immersed on the one side that where you're taking the actual picture. See how at no point in the perimeter of this photo you see any kind of parts he doesn't want you to see, and that's basically the main point of these studios. Like there's almost no point to waste slots doing like the upper ceiling here or like the outside walls here, because you're not going to see them in the shot. So I think that's also another thing to keep in mind too if you are making these studios, is that like you only have 100 slots, so it's like if you really want to be like very detailed and make it pop, not to say that you can't use less items than 100. Like I've made several builds that are way less than 100, but if you really need the slots, like there's really no point to make the full immersion, because like you're not going to be looking that way, and the people who are taking the photos aren't going to be standing back there anyway. So the best thing to do is just I'd say use like the last third of the room, you can use, like he used about like half. It just depends like how much floating you have going on behind you, because it looks like he's got several stuff back here. Like see, when I was talking about the flame memoirs, they're quite large, so he had to force this entire stage upwards towards towards the door, because the length of the flame memoirs is just too big. If he didn't have these little things, he probably could have pushed this all the way in and had a much longer trek leading up to it. But then again, if he has the space, why not utilize it and try to make it up here? But yeah, it's just gonna take a quick shot before I keep talking too much. But I like to take ones from angles. It kind of just makes it a lot more visually appealing than just straight on. Let's see. Can I get one though from this angle? Try not to get that upper trim there. I think that might be a good. The housing in me has got me all perfectionist mode on this screenshot. It's just a screenshot, but still want to do it justice though and take a nice shot. So I think that's good enough, honestly. Considering the height of my Lala, I can't really point the camera down anymore, so I think I'm just gonna leave it. Oh no, I can. There we go. That's why. I think I had my camera tilt set higher from the previous build there, so I'm just gonna make sure that I get a good shot here. There we go. That's a lot better than the other one. Yeah, let's head on to the next one here. Alright, the next one is going to be over on Ixion. Actually, I'm going to have to make a little server change to get there. It's in Shirogane. I'm just going to return to Limsa, and it's going to be way cheaper for me. I'm going to head over to the Arcanist Guild, I think, to take the little boat over to Kugane, and it's probably the best way to go. I didn't used to do this, but like, you know, when you start housing a lot, you just want to pretty much save on however much gil you can, pretty much. Like, it's either I spend 2 seconds to walk over here and use 300 gil, or I spend like 1500 to 2000 just to teleport to the Aetheryte. And I can just go to this guy right here. I don't even have to go to the Aetheryte, and I'm already here. So, did I even? I am worried now because I don't think let me just check. Oh no, I'm still on the Sora. Ah, jeez, I'm gonna have to waste the gil anyways, I guess. I gotta head back. I got too busy explaining that I didn't even realize I didn't transfer yet. Yeah, let me head over to Ixion then. Alright. Let's try this again, guys. Part 2. Round 2, I mean. I'm just going to post the address in here with the name. Aurora watching with Koyokinko. Technically it's just Aurora, I guess. Like, I'll have to check when I actually go there, but actually I could probably check here, but I'm just going to post the address first so you guys can kind of follow along when you do eventually watch the VOD. I like to include the Aetheryte as well, so you kind of know like which to teleport to. I mean, they're not going to be quite the same because this is kind of like my Japanese translation of it, but let me see what Sun actually has on here. Well, it's 18. No, 318. My bad. Yeah, Aurora observation, kind of same kind of thing, right? Like I guess he did make an English name for it. So hopefully that means he does understand like basic English at least. So when he does, or if he does watch this VOD, he can actually understand what I'm talking about here. But it says here, let me just head over there first actually. I guess I could have just mounted over there because it's pretty close. Alright. Yeah, it's literally there. I should have just walked. Whatever. Before I go into this build, actually, he says here in his description, loose translation, he's like, we created a space where you can see the aurora. You can sit by the window where Koyokinko is. You can lie down in the area where the bonfire is. So he's basically just telling us like what we can or can't do inside the build. So let's just see what's going on in here. I don't know what Koyokinko is. I can read the... Oh wait, is this the wrong one? No, it should be room 1, right? I think. Hang on a second. Oh, that's why. I was in the wrong one. I don't know how I missed that. See, I should have just walked over here. It's this one, right here. I was wondering, because like, I'm pretty sure I came before and just made sure it was still there. Unless San heard that I was going to be doing this and he completely took it down. But yeah, it's this one here, guys. Look at that. Oh, I love how you use the same effect you used for the Living Memory build, the Windpath Garden build. Except in this case, he's reversed not just the steel lockers, because they're inverted, but he's also reversed the coloring as well. Living Memory was very bright, very majestic, very regal, with the upstanding towers, but then in this one, he's completely flipped it, made them upside down, the towers pouring down, still offset, but changed the entire color hue to purple, to kind of reflect an aurora, as he says in the build. I wonder if this what this is supposed to represent, though. If this was purely made as an inverse to Windpath Garden, or he had another lore idea in mind. And the reason why I say this is because San doesn't just build for aesthetic. Like, that's a lot of what it is, so people can take really cool shots. But he also incorporates a lot of lore elements as well, usually, like I can kind of point out in his build. So I wonder what this is representing. This music's from Yaktel. Yeah, I guess similar kind of bluish purple tones, but other than that, I don't really see much lore significance in this to compare to MSQ. Unless this one was just purely for the aesthetics, then still a good job. But I'm always trying to look for a deeper meaning with San's build, because he usually has some things, like some objects or some color tones that he's using to reference certain points in MSQ. Like here, if you were just to give me the look of this build, say this music wasn't playing, say it wasn't Post Dawn Trail that he made this, say he made this in Endwalker, I would automatically assume, based on the inverted buildings, but also the color tone and the stars, and then this very dynamic painting with a mix and splash of paint colors, I would assume it was Ultima Thule, just from this alone. Because this looks very Ultima Thule, the kind of like the mix of cosmic energies, the blue blended with the purple, blended with the pink, with the stars. It completely matches what he's doing here. So, had he made this pre-Dawn Trail, I would probably say it's like a reference to Ultima Thule, but I really don't know what he was going for here. Like, it looks absolutely stunning, but maybe I'm thinking too deeply about this and there really isn't a hidden meaning to this, but I like to think that there is, so, and that's my take on it. So let me see what else he has in here that would make something stand out. Nothing really, I mean, we can sit on these, right? Yeah, I thought so. And see, this is why I think more and more this build is about Mare Lamentorum. That was actually the first thing that popped into my mind, not even Ultima Thule, just because Mare Lamentorum is kind of like the first quote-unquote stars that you see in Endwalker, like a real star, outside of Eorzea. And like you saw in the trailer, Eorzea turns completely upside down with the Warrior of Light in it, and then it kind of like pans into the title, which is actually that circle around the Endwalker title is Mare Lamentorum, basically, because it shows the Warrior of Light go on an inverted axis, and it spins onto the star, like before the title appears. And that's why my first thought was this is a Mare Lamentorum inspired build with Ultima Thule aesthetics, because this encapsulates kind of the entire like arc between Endwalker, kind of like this main star Mare Lamentorum is leading to an even bigger group of stars, which is like the Ultima Thule cosmos, right? Which also exists in real life as well. Ultima Thule is an actual, well, like I guess we don't know if for sure if it's an actual place, but basically it's taken from outside space terms as well. So like I really think like this was supposed to be an Endwalker build, but maybe he just saved it. And he just waited till Endwalker, Dawntrail to do it, which is perfectly okay. But yeah, I don't know. I can't let go of the fact that it could just be a beautiful build. But I always like to, like I said, I always like to see more lore in immersive spaces, especially because I do that as well in my build. So, and he's done it many, many times before. Like you saw in the previous ones, like he really, really related to Stormblood, Black Forest Suzaku. He related to Living Memory for the first one, right? Same with like the mermaid one. It wasn't quite like Tamamaizu, but that's basically what he was referencing. So yeah, and like even this little light down here too, like this isn't like an Amarant light, but a lot of designers use this lantern. Usually they don't use it as an actual tabletop on the ground. Usually what they do is that let me see if I can even show you here. So yeah, see, this is another thing, right? Mare Lamentorum, he used the stars and the sun for the chandelier because it matches. But what I was saying about this little lantern pieces here, usually most designers, they don't put it on the ground. They actually put they float a custom chandelier, which is usually the white marble fountain, you know, the one with the Moogles on it, and they float it all the way up. They completely obscure the chandelier because the base of it is wide enough. And it almost looks like this little circle here, but it's much bigger than the circumference. And it's kind of like a very ornate, almost like a circular white ceramic board that you would stand on. But it basically covers most chandeliers. It covers this, let me see if I can move it further. It covers this entire circumference, basically, if you float the fountain all the way up. And within that fountain, they would also float up, I believe it's like a couple of the Hanish tables you get from the vendor. And the bottom of those actually have these little pincers on them. They're kind of like, how would I explain them? The bottom of those tables would be kind of like hooks almost, like kind of like 4 hooks or like 3 or 4 hooks coming out of the base of it. They float those into the bottom of that marble fountain, and then they put these little lanterns on each hook to kind of symbolize like, or to kind of make it look like those hooks have lights on them. So that's how most people I've seen make a custom chandelier like that. Like I've done that before as well. The only thing bad about that, it's a really, really nice effect, and look how much lighting this provides. Just this alone. Like look how he covered this entire surface area with just one here. See how it's so different from the light? It's completely white, this entire circle, from this one piece. So that's one thing that you can use if you want to use light 0 but still have good lighting. You know, like your own lighting. You can use 3 or 4 of these for the custom chandelier, and you can completely illuminate this entire top here. But why I was like saying this, like why it was so hard, is because I believe you have to farm like a Fate tribe in Endwalker. I forget which one it is, but I know it's like not like you can't just like buy them off the market board. You actually have to like farm the tribe to the max, I believe, the max ranking to actually be able to even access this. So yeah, it's just there's a lot to consider when you're making these studios. It's like, I really recommend, if you do take an interest or you have like a liking to make GPO studios, I highly recommend farming all of the fates in the expansion to the max, just because there are certain fate items that are locked behind your ranking. And a lot of those items like can make or break a build, especially a GPO Studio, because there are exceptional pieces of lighting that you can use that are a lot better than the market board. And even if they are like more expensive or harder to get, like it completely like eclipses what you could find on in the vendor. So it's something definitely to consider if you are going for the more like stylistic GPOs look. You want the brighter white lighting, not so much the warm lighting that you usually get for the vendor, like the Oasis or the Glade items that have more of the yellow hue. If you want something that pops like this, or like some other kind of lighting, usually you have to do it through like fades. Like for example, the Sylph Lantern. Although it's not like a white light, it's a kind of like a unique green light that you use in certain niche GPO studios. So yeah, it's just something to consider to have to max out the fates. They weren't this hard this expansion though. Like Dawn Trail, I believe, like they made it quite a bit easier. You get a lot more resources from it, and it's current patch, so it should be easy to be able to either solo them, do them with a friend, or find some fake groups to do them in. Like they give you tons of resources if you're not just looking for the lighting and looking to max out your bicolor gemstones. But yeah, let me just take a build here, and I'm just gonna shortly move on to the next one. Oh, I don't think this was intentional, but he has these little C-note lanterns here to kind of make like a little border here. But I'm just gonna use it as a little stepping stool because I'm so short here, and see if I can take like a really nice shot. I think I want to take an upper shot actually. Can I take a nice one? Yeah, it's pretty cool. I look pissed though. I don't look very happy, but I guess I don't have to be, I mean. I kind of want to take a shot of the actual... You know what, I want to take a cool shot, but at the same time I think I should probably take a shot of that actually. Can I go any lower or higher? Yeah, I think I'm going to take an upper shot actually. Just kind of change the camera angle, but I know you see the partitions coming down, and technically you're not supposed to, but I kind of want to show how vast this actually is. Yeah, I think from an upward angle too, yeah, that would be good. I'm gonna try to hide that partition up there so it's not, you don't see the white, but I think an upper shot would be very, very nice. Yeah, I think it just makes it different, right? I don't want to take from the same angle all the time, so yeah, you can kind of do like all sorts of things, right? Like you can take it sitting there, you can take it sitting down here, right? Take like a bit of the backdrop of this as well. I mean, this is totally the main focus, but I believe you probably set up seats anywhere along the side here. Maybe not. Is there something here? Here? I guess this is just front part, but it's still like you can kind of do it from different angles, right? You don't have to go up, you can go completely straight, have a dead center. Yeah. So, even on top of the telescope, if you're really small and you want some height here, you can kind of get like the reverse cityscape where you're kind of like looking out. So, yeah, I try to experiment, and obviously this couch here as well, but it's not quite as pronounced as this, so I would recommend taking a side angle or a back angle here, so it's kind of like you're looking through the telescope into the aurora. So, but yeah, enough of that. I'm sure you guys kind of like know by now like the different angles and stuff, so it's just kind of little suggestions and kind of pointers to point out if you do decide to make a studio. You know, at least there's things to consider. Like, you don't really have to make it all one focal point. You get a multiple seating everywhere to kind of like grab the whole expanse of the build. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna move on to the next one, unless there's no. I don't think there's a message book here. I don't believe he has one. Yeah, he doesn't. I'm just gonna have to move on to the next one. I believe that's it for mana, actually. So I might have to head on, put a little transition screen up. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put one up because I think this is it for that. Let's see what the next one is. Yeah, the next one's on Belias, on Meteor. So I'm just gonna pop up a little screen as I transfer over there. Let me just, I'm going to log out. I'm going to return to my home world and then head right over to Meteor, where I'll finish the rest of the tour. This one's going to be considerably shorter than the other ones I usually do with Allura, just because of the nature of the studios. I mean, they're just supposed to be quick in and out. I did want to still, though, provide greater explanation when I was in each build, because I think that there's some pointers that I can hit on or address that may help some of you out there that aren't really familiar with the whole style of G-posing, like making G-pose studios, how it's much different from, let's say, making like a normal home or even a normal apartment. There's a lot to consider more in G-pose studios, or I wouldn't say more, but like different. There's different techniques to use in G-pose studios because you're trying to like capture a different perspective on like how they want to view your build. So I think I thought I was going on a tangent, but I think it's really good to spend a bit of extra time. I mean, I'm doing this VOD anyways. I might as well show you guys, or like at least say what I've known and learned from experience. Just if it helps one of you out there, even at least, like I'm really glad. But if it's just like a reference video too, I'm also glad as well. It's always something you can kind of, reference in the future if you do need some like some inspiration or a kind of a review, right, per se. So I'm just gonna take the screens off. I'm pretty much back over on Meteor now. So where's the next build here? I'm just, bear with me guys. Usually I've got Allura also helping me as well to kind of post the post ahead of time, or at least post the titles to the posts. So let me just post it myself though, just so I have a reference here. So this one's called Peaceful Bath Time, and it's over in Goblet. So I'm just going to post the address and the nearest etherite. So if you guys want to visit this after I do the stream, you are more than welcome to copy those. These are all public addresses. I wouldn't be posting these unless San either gave me permission or he made them public, which usually he does because he wants people to go to his studios. So this one's in the Goblet. Okay, let me just head on over there. There is one thing I probably should say though, like this is the hashtag that San wants you to use when you're taking photos. So what I'll pretty much do is, like, I think because I took some videos here, or shots here, I'm going to probably share like an entire collage for him at the end of this, just so you can see how many I went to, and I'm planning to go on all of them. He has 18 lifts listed on Studio XIV, but I did check and he actually only has 17 open. The 18th one's locked. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it was being used for private uses, because again, sometimes, a lot of these times, these houses, especially on JP, are for private use, but the owners are also aware that San wants to show off his work as a G-pose studio artist, and that's why he kind of opens it up as well. So at any time, if you're ever on JP and you're wondering why something's locked, even though the address is made public on X or on Blue Sky, it's mostly because it's used for private used for private use as well, or they're doing RP, or they have a venue there and they need the space. That's just kind of like the general rule that JP goes by. It's like, if you see it locked, please don't bug them. Just come back another day. They'll probably unlock them when they go to sleep, or like they're not using it anymore. But that's basically how culturally it goes on JP. Like, it could be locked for that reason. And just please be respectful. Please don't bother them. Just come back another day, and then you'll have more than enough time to take your photos and not worry having to offend anyone or like bother them. So let's see here. So this one says Goblet, the 10th ward. Extended Street means basically expansion town, like, which is like the second, like the subdivision basically is what they mean. Japanese JP community usually use extended or expansion. That's how they kind of go about it. Arrangements like ward basically, so like 10th arrangement, 8th extension kind of thing. So we're going to Ward 10 in the subdivision. So let's just head over to Ward 10 first. And yeah, the reason why I'm going through kind of like exactly how JP works as a culture is because I don't really see many streamers go visit JP's stuff, especially to this extent. There are people like I know Eviona, who is another housing streamer who hails from the EU. She has gone to many builds on JP, but it's almost like it's within a mixture of, because she does housing tours, so it's like a mixture of other houses that have been submitted to her. But because mine are kind of more like I have very, very focused ones just particularly on JP servers, I think it's a good idea for me to just at least tell you guys kind of how the culture goes, because I pretty much lived here for like a year and a half. Like, not lived there physically in Japan, but I'm saying like my main character was on JP for like a year and a half, and I really got into their customs. I started to learn their language. I learned how they operate in the community spaces, the raiding spaces. So just trying to give some tips so that you guys don't get in trouble if you're like, you guys kind of like know how to act and what to do, because they do have a certain level of respect that they want to maintain over there, and especially to a foreigner, it's like an outsider kind of thing, right? You don't want like someone coming into your home and then not respecting your boundaries. So like I kind of just wanted to give you guys a heads up so you're not getting into trouble with them. And if it gets bad enough and people do start ignoring these boundaries, like I might not even be able to come here and show you guys these houses if they just start ending up blocking everything because of like conflicts that could arise right in the future. So yeah, for those reasons, and just because I want to kind of help you guys out, like kind of understand, just understand them better, right? Like that's all I want to do, just make sure that we all understand each other better, and then there's no problems. So yeah, let's just head on into room number 8, though, in this subdivision here. So let's see, it's this one, right? Just gonna make sure. Yeah, Sun Studio. He usually puts his little tag there in every one of his builds, just that we're not going to random people's builds. But let's head on in. So this one's called Peaceful Bath Time. The description says here, why not take a relaxing bath on a calm evening? That's all he says. Now let's look up to see what it actually is. See, this is very peaceful. It's got the nice Aglaya music that I really like. The first Endwalker raid that they released post-patch in 6.1. But see, this is actually, I'm glad I talked about that custom chandelier, because if you see up here, this is what I was talking about. He floated the marble part, the white marble fountain, the one with the Moogles on, he floated it completely up, he stuck it straight through the phasmas, right? See how the chandelier is hanging out of it? That wasn't his intention. He just wanted, he didn't want to block out the light in this one. He just wanted to make a custom circumference. See how much that actually takes up? That's quite a large surface area. So yeah, like I said, he used the bottom of the white marble fountain. He's got the plant chandelier dripping down, but he wanted to obscure that gold part there, like the actual chandelier top piece, and just make it hang off to create a more ornate effect, and to draw your eye lower to this quadrant here. See, if he had left this completely blank without floating this up, I don't think you would know where to look. You would look straight, but it would be more towards the top. With at least this little custom trim here, and then the chandelier dripping down, you immediately want to say, oh, I gotta jump into this bathtub. I gotta take my photo here, right beside Drippy, because this area right here is where he wants you to go. This little rectangle right here, right below the moon and right above the bathtub. That's exactly the focal point he wants to focus on. So yeah, and you can even see here too, I don't want to go too much of a tangent about this, but see how he floated that little, I forget what that light's called, but that very ghastly lighting lantern. He floated that up through the middle of the chandelier, so it could still create the image of a chandelier, because he hid most of it with the fountain. So it just adds a extra little pop, so that you don't think, oh, there's nothing there, it's just a random ceiling. So no, it's the chandelier. And this lantern, with that embedded in that gold natural part of the chandelier, with the natural part of the plants floating down, immediately forces your eye down to here, where, like I said, he wants you to focus in on this little rectangle here to take the photo, and that's what I'm going to do. So I wonder if it's best to sit here. No, I'm too short. Maybe I'll go behind Drippy or something, or beside Drippy. Yeah, I'm just going to take a G-pose here and see how it goes. I kind of want to capture the chandelier, but at the same time, taking a cute shot to the side would be kind of funny as well. That's the beauty of these studios. You don't necessarily have to capture everything in the shot. You can just pretty much do whatever you want when you come here. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna take a cuter shot. I know it doesn't show the rest of that, but for me it means more to have Drippy in the picture here than that awesome chandelier that they made up here. So, is there a message book here? I don't think so. Yeah. So I'm gonna head on to the next one here. So let's see what we got. Yeah, we're almost halfway through. It's going quite quick this time. What's this? This next one is also on belly ass. There's actually quite a few on belly ass before I transfer over. This one's over in the goblet again. Ward 10 though, so just to make things quick, I'm going to teleport back to the... Oh, actually... No, this is room 15. What am I doing? Let me go there. It's literally this one. I almost teleported it away. Before I actually show it, I'm actually just going to type it out so you guys know what it is and where we are. I'm sure most of you can recognize this is the Deep Sky C note, or the Sky Deep C note music from the level 95 dungeon in Dawn Trail, and that's why he named his build C note. Let's just see what's going on. Ooh, I like this. Oh, that is a drastic effect. I really like this one. This one's way better in person than the pictures you see on his Studio XIV. It's very pronounced here. I love that he used Light Zero here, because not only did he put the Night Phasmascape up here that completely complements the entire natural cave kind of look here, but he also put, I believe these are indirect lightings, or Queen's Rest, or some kind of very strong lighting on the side here. They look like indirect to me because, as you can like kind of faintly see here, you see the light kind of peering in and some of those indirect circular particles, which is why I think that he has a few right here. I can also see that it might be the bottom of the Queen's Rest here, if you see this little oval here, and then also like an oval here as well. Whatever the case is, he's got like really nice lighting on top of the actual Phasma to kind of emulate the lighting from a moon, and it's really pronounced shining in, and I love that it's just hitting this pocket here. Like, look at that, it's hitting literally right where I think he wants you to stand. Like, again, he wants you to stand at a certain part of the build, so that's why he's making sure that the moonlight spills into the lighted part. So I'm pretty sure anywhere in this little quadrant here, like where my mouse is going, anywhere up to even this portrait here, up in this little quadrant here, is basically where he wants you to take the shot. So I think I might try to jump up here because I'm a Lala. Oh no, can I even jump up here? Might take a bit of work, but oh man, I'm usually good at jumping. But maybe I'll just take it here then. I do want to take that dynamic lighting though, so I think I'm going to go here actually, and then take it going up. There we go. Yeah, I'm just gonna hop into G-pose now and see what kind of shot I can get from this. Ooh, that's absolutely beautiful. I love. Oh, see, look, see what I mean, guys? When I say, when you go to manual brightness adjustment, if it's 20 above, see how different it is in a very dark light zero build. How, like, see, it completely ruins the effect. Like, I know X, and I'm not sure if Blue Sky does this, but I know X, they really mess with the lighting of Final Fantasy XIV photos. Like, really dark builds, it's hard to make them do well, because X, like, darkens an already dark picture, unfortunately. I just don't know how it converts when you upload the photo, but in my experience, every darker build that I've ever posted, or darker images, it gets exponentially even darker when you post it on X. So for that reason, that's why I said, guys, it's really, really difficult to, like, change the manual brightness. A lot of times, I honestly just leave it. Like, I've got more than enough lighting spilling in here. It's very pronounced. I don't want to ruin the mood. Sometimes I won't even pop this on, because then I'll have to, like, adjust the brightness here. I'm like, what should I do? Like, that already looks kind of off to me, right? Like, I don't know. Like, that looks just right. I don't really know if I want to change it really anymore. Like, maybe a bit brighter? Maybe like that, right? As opposed to this. It's a bit brighter, but, like, it kind of ruins that whole mood of, like, the light spilling in and having the semi-darker translucent background here. If I do like this instantly gets, I don't know. It just doesn't look as good. It's not supposed to be like that, because San didn't intend for it to be taken like that. So, but, you know, I could brighten it up a bit. I think that's good. That would be fine. So I'm just going to take it like that, just so I have a shot. And yeah, not much more to say about this build. I mean, it really just is, you've got all waterfall partitions going all the way around. I actually kind of wish Alora was here, because she would definitely have more insight on this. Like, a lot of her builds particularly use this kind of thing, where she's got a stone ceiling, and then she's got, excuse me, I was just drinking my coffee. She's got the Phasma, kind of like a little gated, maybe like a factory grate here, having light seep in. That's kind of like what a lot of the builds that she does. And just having the stone flooring and the waterfall stone partitions in general is kind of her thing. So even though she couldn't be here on the stream, at least I'll be able to send her some pictures and maybe post them, so she, like, kind of like, maybe she'll come back herself and take some photos. But yeah, I think from here I'm just going to kind of move on to my next build. This is a great one. I think I'm actually going to bookmark this one, because this is one I really, really like. And the music is absolutely phenomenal. I love. I know people can hate Dawntrail all they want, but I absolutely love the orchestrions. The dungeons were banger. Like, they probably were the best. I think Dawntrail was the best expansion for dungeons. Like, they really, really went hard on it. And these were just MSQ dungeons, mind you. Usually they don't, like, do, like, too crazy on the MSQ dungeons. They usually get crazier in the post patch and actually make, like, special, like, difficult fights and stuff, but they really, really did a good job. They really upped the level, but not to the point where it was impossible to do for casuals, but, like, they upped it just enough where it was like a happy medium. The music was good, the aesthetics were good, the mobs were very varied, the bosses had, like, a lot more new mechanics that you normally don't see in MSQ content. They kind of started a bit of that towards Endwalker, because I know some of the later Endwalker dungeons got kind of crazy. Like, the Dead Ends was pretty insane for an MSQ dungeon. I think that one was pretty hard. Yeah, I'm really glad the direction they're going with that. But I don't want to go on a whole tangent about Dawntrail, but I do want to say this. Dawntrail's not all bad. I mean, I of course have my kind of, you know, negative things to say about it too, but I think overall, they've given us quite a bit, especially for housing, especially for the texture. Basically 7.0, 7.1, they changed a lot of the housing textures. They're a lot more detailed. You can see the wood grain patterns in pieces that you didn't see before, which is completely flat, like PS2 kind of graphics, right? But they really, really focused on making them better. I used to never be able to run maximum settings on my computer, let alone, like, I'm running standard right now, but I used to lag so hard because my PC is quite old. But ever since they made the adjustment on how they made the graphics build out, I'm able to run maximum almost completely fine if I'm not streaming, and there's, like, no lag whatsoever. Even if I'm on another region like JP or OCE, like, it's completely smooth. So I think like props to the dev team for like fixing those kind of quality of life things. Like the textures are absolutely insane, and for much lower memory as well. I don't want to get canceled, but the story was meh. You know, it wasn't the best. It wasn't the worst either, but if I were to look at the positives, they really improved on the creative side of it. Like really a lot. Housing in particular. I know they're not really giving us many housing items every patch, but at least the housing items they are giving us, they are very practical, and they're multi-purpose. Like the whole what's the example? The one the tea cabinet, right? You can use that in very ornate settings. You can use that in very rustic settings, because you can use it as a custom bench, just showing the lower half. You can turn it to the side, dye it a certain color, and it's got like a little trim that you can use for custom trims. You can cut off the entire bottom, flip it around, use it as a very smooth paneling at the back of it. Like there's just so much you can do, and you can multi-dye it. So the fact that they gave us multi-dye slots, even on pre-existing older items, but definitely for the newer ones, the textures, the multiple dye slots, the practicality of each new housing item, really to me puts Dawntrail pretty high up in terms of what the best expansion is. And guys, don't get me wrong, I still don't think it's the best expansion, but considering how much quality of life they made in such a short span of time between June to July on release up till now, that's what, like, well, I guess it's like almost a year now, but considering that I started way a long time ago back in, like, you know, the old expansions, considering they gave us this much in such a short span of time, not even a year, like, I think that's pretty crazy. Updated dungeons, like way better dungeons, the music's banger, quality of life changes, lots of them, like, you know, all made within that 7.0 to now 7.2 coming up at the end of this month period, between two major patches. Well, I guess like one major patch and two semi-major ones between 1 and 2, like 7.0, 7.1, now 7.2. They made quite a bit of changes in between that pocket there. Considering their history, they never even dared to even touch these changes. So I'm really happy with where it's going. I will say though, despite that, I really hope the story picks up somewhat. I just gave them the benefit of the doubt because they're introducing new characters. It's a completely new story arc. Who knows? They might kind of. I really hope. Like if they bring back Emmett, I'm gonna go crazy. And I think that could be a real possibility, considering when I looked at the 7.2 special site yesterday, they have very Ashen/ancient quotes in their site, and even use the exact same font and color of font as well for them. Because if you remember back in ARR, like I think at the end of each expansion, like right after ARR, right after Heavensward, remember how they would have those like post-epilogue like scenes with like Elidibus and stuff? They would have like, oh, the flames undying, blah blah blah, and it would be like this black screen with orange text, right? And they use the exact same text and the exact same like structure of it for the 7.2 special site, which is what really makes me think they're going to bring back the Ashens in this story arc. I really don't think they're completely gone. There's several Ashens that were named and addressed, but never shown on screen. So I'm assuming Emma Moralith, Mitron from the Eden raids, and they just did the Eden Ultimate, so it's not that crazy that Mitron would try to make a comeback in Sven's plans. Like maybe Mitron comes back and takes over Sven and uses her as a vessel. Like maybe she's a sundered version of Mitron. I don't know, but I really think that if you guys who have been following me for a long time, especially when I used to do more housing, I'm like a super fan of the ancient lore. Like that's why my profile picture here has never changed. It's me in the Sophist robes. Like I'm a super fan. I've done so many Amarok builds, not up anymore, but I'm absolutely obsessed with the ancient lore, and I'm a complete Emmett fan. Hithlo is awesome, but Emmett's always going to be my guy, you know. And that's why I really hope that the story picks up in this next patch cycle, and they really start introducing some more built-out villains, right? Like Sven, I know she's from FF9. They want to kind of pay tribute to that, but I really think that they can do a lot by mixing in the Ashen lore, seriously. And I don't know if you guys know this, but all of the Unsundered, or not the Unsundered, all 14 Convocation members were based off of Final Fantasy 12. Basically, they're representations of the Espers, and there was about, was there 12 Espers or something? I forget. I don't even know if there was 14, but there was at least 12 Espers, and I think the last two were optional, Hydaelyn and Zodiar. But they basically based them off of all of them. They're supposedly supposed to be heroes, the Espers, right? In the Final Fantasy 12 Evilist world, but they end up being corrupt in the 12th game, and that's why you have to like control them and stuff. But basically, all of those Espers are basically supposed to be like heroes of their own world in Ivalice, and that's kind of like reflected in 14. Like those Ashens, they think they're doing the right thing, but it could be really bad what they're doing because of like the whole genocide. You know, I'm not going to go into it, but I think because of those lore facts alone, and the fact that they're going back to previous games and kind of exploring, okay, how can we mix the best parts of this FF title and mix it into the 14 lore? Boom, you've got it. Just bring back some of those Ashens and mix them in. I think it'll be a really, really nice, like trajectory point, so you can kind of like plan out the arc a bit if you have more main 14 characters in the game to kind of propel the story to even greater heights. And I guess I'll say this one last thing before I go too much on tangent. Please, I don't dislike Wookiee, aka Wookalamat. Alora and I call her Wookiee because, I mean, Wookiee, it's just way easier, right? But please, like, I just want to see more Cryo and less of her, because I thought it was going to be the whole Lala expansion with the whole Pictomancer thing and like Cryo coming out, but they really like dismissed Cryo, and I'm really not happy about that, because like I think as someone who is now in the public sphere of content creation, I think I do have a voice, and my voice does matter a bit more, and to be like also that voice too. I really think that if any Square Enix person hears this, or like the dev team hears this VOD or watches this VOD, I really highly encourage you to at least give Cryo a bit more screen time. Like, she is a Scion. She's been a Scion since the beginning, since like Heaven's Ward days. She's in all the side quests like Eureka and stuff. Like, she has a major role in the actual lore of 14. And the fact that you gave a Pictomancer role that's pretty much like a Lala role, like it's not like exactly fitting a Lala, but it basically, like, Cryo's a Pictomancer, so it's like, why not give Cryo that step up to actually become a very prominent member of the Science, which she's supposed to be in lore? And I think if you give Cryo more screen time and have it kind of tie back into the whole Ancient thing, I really think that like Dawn Trail might be the best expansion. But we'll see what happens. I'm just hoping, because you guys, like, I want to thank you again and again. Like, you've already gave us so many quality of life changes, especially in housing, especially in the MSQ content. Like, the content itself is pretty banger. Like, everything, you've improved a lot in such a short time. But yeah, like, the story would just, like, increasing the story just by a bit would just be the finishing touch, like the icing on the cake. Like, if the story gets super damn good, I think I can proudly say that I would be very confident saying Dawn Trail is the best expansion of all time. If the story improves, I think it can be. And I really hope so. But anyways, enough with my tangent. I went on for like, 10-15 minutes on that. I really want to get to the next ones here. So let me head on to... Oh, this one's kind of like a seasonal build, but I mean, it's still... This one's very beautiful. I took screenshots here last year, but I didn't go into in-depth analysis, and I really want to see this one. This one's called Luxury Christmas. It's also in Goblet Ward 13, so I'm actually just going to teleport right out of here. Let me just post the name, the address, so you guys can follow along. So Luxury Christmas, Belias, Goblet, Ward 13, Plot 53. Also in the subdivision as well, or expansion town. So that's where we're going to be teleporting to. So let's just head on over to Ward 13. Actually, let me put my camera angle down a bit. It's kind of hard to see. Let's see. So Ward 13, Plot 53, I said, right? Yeah, so let's head on over there. think it's the one up here. I don't want to go into the wrong house again. I'm just going to keep the map up just in case. Oh, there we go. That's this one right here. So what's the description here? It says, I made a Christmas studio. You can sit on the star parts of the sled and lattice window. Okay. Ooh, this is very ornate. Look at that, guys. I call this the... If you guys know the other housing content creator and DJ, Noah Saitoshi, he used this... I call this the Noah trim because he pairs this a lot for a lot of his custom trimmings, especially with his chandelier, especially with the bar that he has. He uses this pattern quite a bit. I know several people have used it, but it's just the first person I think of because he was the first person who I saw actually make that kind of trim to begin with. But yeah, this is very, very nice. I love, love, love the door here. Very regal. It reminds me, on top of the music, it reminds me kind of like a Mickey's Kingdom, Magical Kingdom kind of thing. The music, the vibes, it's very Kingdom Hearts. It's very grandiose. It's such a small build. And this is like the ultimate Christmas build, guys. Like, I don't even know if there's any Christmas build better than this one. I think the only one that's kind of comparable that I would say like gave me like evoked similar feelings inside of me was probably well, this has got to be years ago. I don't even know if it's still up. The other creative content creator, Fwashi, she made a build called Starlight Town on Ferry, I think in Honor, Maine. And I remember that was the first art party I actually went to. And she didn't know me. Nobody knew me at the time. I was just a random floating into there, and I just saw that house. Like, oh my god, you got like this crazy ass like Christmas build inside the mansion. And that's what this one reminds me of. This is almost like the smaller version of that, like the more intimate, cozy version, just because it's in a smaller space. The walls are a bit tighter. There's the long red drapes pouring down to make a more cohesive, cozy, intimate setting, paired along with the couch here as well. It's in such close proximity to each other that you want to sit in that couch. You want to be on ground level. You want to just stay around this little square here. Like your eyes are instantly drawn into this little bottom quadrant here. But I actually don't think I'm going to sit on this chair. I think I'm actually going to stand on one of these. There's just so much to see here. Even sitting here, maybe I'll take the G pose. It's not quite as nice, but at least it shows a different angle of it. Like, the doors are just absolutely glorious, though, seriously. I feel like I would be doing this build an injustice if I didn't at least take pictures of the door. Like, yeah, it's very simple, but look how good that is. Like, it doesn't have to be, like, complex with all this crazy layering. Like, this is just perfect for this kind of luxurious Christmas build. But I think, I want to try to capture it in a way where San would appreciate me trying, like, experimenting with a different angle, at least for G-pose. I might even do, let me just hop into G-pose real quick and see what kind of angle I can do. 'Cause I do want to show off the door, kind of, that's a thing. I'll just do that. I know it's kind of simple, but I don't really have one that's straight, looking straight like that. So maybe I will. Oh, see, this is what I mean by those custom chandeliers. Look at that. Look how nice that looks. That's amazing. Maybe I'll do something like that. Yeah, that looks really nice. I love taking screenshots at builds. Like, it's one of my favorite pastimes that I had before I delved into the world of housing content creation. And I mean content creation as in streaming. I've always been a content creator for housing, but to actually live stream, it's quite different. And I actually really enjoy doing it because I'm able to, well, I guess not today because I don't think anyone's here and I'm doing this by myself, but I really enjoy interacting with others on how they see these builds, but also gives me a chance to kind of like shed my experience onto what I think about how housing should be and kind of what tips that people can be inspired by. So that kind of like piques my interest just a bit more than just regularly designing or regularly doing build visit photos. It kind of like adds an extra layer of community for me. And yeah, I hope you guys like this, and even if you don't, I really love just kind of having like a video documentation of all of this. It just really makes me really happy just to know that if I can make at least one person appreciate it, I will be over the moon. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take this shot actually. One thing that I should probably point out, since I'm still on G-Post, is that look at what he did here. Look how ingenious this is. Actually, I'm going to get a closer look. If you guys didn't notice, this right here, this is a mannequin with the Australian weapon, astrologian weapon, the AST weapon behind. See, look, I can click it. See? You'll see what I mean. They used the level 89 Diana AST weapon from Old Charlian before you hit 90, the relic weapon. The one that you get from Old Charlian, like the one that's the aura woman gives you. The one that you bump into with Thavnir, and then you see her working at Old Charlian under Tataru's employment. Of course, like under the secret deal kind of thing, right? But she's the one who gives you this beautiful, beautiful, ornate astrologian item that could only be used for something like this. Seriously, guys. And this is why I absolutely love coming to these JP builds, especially because they really, really push the boundaries of what is acceptable in the build. And as you can see here, they're literally using the back of an item on a mannequin to show, let's like tie the knot for that curtain. Like that curtain would have been so plain, so basic if it didn't have that gold element on it. Like that's absolutely insane how they thought to do that as like a knot to tie that curtain. Look how well it goes along with this entire piece here. You've got the natural gold trims here, right? From the actual curtain itself, right? But then just adding that little, like, I mean, it's such a small item. Like, I know it's big proportionally, but it's such a small detail that San put into this build that made it that much more captivating. Like, that is insane, guys. Seriously. It's so good. Man, this is just like... just everything about this guy. Oh my god, I didn't even realize he used the neons here. Look. If I didn't go to this angle, these are the back of the neon lights. Dyed. Like, I think it's dyed suit black or something to create that kind of effect. But see how it just looks like metal bars here? That is actually them dyed suit black, isn't it? Wow. That's why I'm saying this is one of my favorite ones from San. I know it's a Christmas build, I know it's seasonal, and I know it's not Christmas, but this is damn good, guys. Really, really, really good. Man. Ah, there's so much I could gush about, but I really want to move on to the next one because this is, man, this is just blowing me away, guys. Like seeing this a second time even, already have taken photos like when it came out last year, and still being blown away now to this day is absolutely insane. Like, bravo, San. This is one of my favorite ones by you. I like this even better than the C-Note one that I saw just before this. Man, there's still so many more to go. Like, I don't even know if I can even control myself here. Like, how many more do we have? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have like 10 more to go. Okay, I'm gonna try to increase the speed on this bit. I mean, I want to spend time on it, but I also want to give fair time for the rest of the builds as well. So this next one is called Drippy and Drip Coffee. I'm not sure if it translates to something else in English, like maybe he has a better English name for that. But I'm just going to post the title, the address, and where to teleport to, just so that you have a reference for where we're going. So this is actually in the same ward. Oh, wait a second. I completely messed This is actually in this, not even is in the same word. It's literally in this building, guys. It's got to be behind here, right? I'm just looking at my map. It's in the FC room here. Can I click into it? No, I can't. I'm gonna have to move into this. Yes, it's an FC house. I'm gonna click into it. Before I head in, what's the description? Actually, let me head in now, actually. I'll just pan the camera angle down. Okay, good. It doesn't show the whole thing. So this is the Drippy room, and it says here in his description, a snapshot of a relaxing moment in the studio, enjoying drip coffee with Drippy during a break. Please be aware that some areas have not been treated to prevent transparency, so you may get motion sickness. There is no path to the private room, so you will need to go through the wall. If you keep running towards the edge of the wall, you'll be able to go through the furniture. That's exactly what I did, basically. So I was right. You couldn't click through it. I had to phase through the stage panel there. So I don't know what he's saying about the motion sickness, though. I'm gonna have to like see myself like what it is. But it means on the motion sickness. But yet again, guys, like, oh my god, this is actually, I did not expect this. Like I said, like in the previous build that I was outside, let me actually head back outside so you guys can see what I mean. Actually, I have to explain this again because it's just like, it's a very little detail that like you probably miss. But what I was what I was explaining out here was, this is literally the AST weapon, the level 89 relic weapon, turned around to make that knot. And it's just like, what? This is my second, like I said, this is my second time being here. I've already taken my screenshots from the previous year, but the fact that he thought to use that ornate weapon as an accent to match the accents in this curtain is insane. And the reason why I point this out is because when you go back into the Drippy build here that he has inside this FC house. Okay, let's go back in here. Let's see. He does the exact same thing with the Drippy minions. Like, this has no place being here, really, right? Like if you look really close here, that's literally that little like a little storage carton turned to the side. But he wanted to draw your eyes immediately up to the top here, so he purposely put the Drippy minion here so that as soon as you poured it in like this, you immediately looked up. And he wants to lead you up into this little circle, kind of like heavenly area here. So, oh my god, this is so cute. I love how this Drippy is just like floating with the little. He's got like the little coffee in his hand, but it's like floating because he's like a magic little being. But oh wait, hang on a second. Okay, I just popped back out to my window. I had no idea, like, Noko, oh my god, like, what the heck, like, how long were you here? I think I was literally talking to myself for, like, a good, like, 15 minutes before I noticed someone. But, I actually just wasn't gonna stream this originally. I was just gonna make, like just straight to VOD, because I felt like this one was less of, like, a live stream and more so, like, an informative stream, because I really... So, for those of you who don't know, San Studio, the place that I'm at right now, yeah, you can see it in my status up there, and there's also a link to his website. But San Studio is basically like a very, very famous G-pose studio on Japan, and it's made by a guy called San. He's been around for years. He makes epic backdrops, epic studios, and he has almost about 20 of them. This stream, I'm about halfway through. I'm like 10 in, but each one of them are very diverse, very distinct, and I just wanted to provide my insight on what I know about G-pose studios and what people can do with lighting, what they can do in the actual G-pose menu, and also like how to take varying angles from various shots. And that's why I wasn't even going to stream this initially. So I was fully planning on talking about this completely by myself, but I'm just glad there's at least some other viewers here to actually see kind of where the magic happens. But yeah, like this is just so cute, like such a lala. Oh my god, I love that ceiling. What does he use here? I don't even know what he uses here, actually, for this ceiling. What are these items? What the? Hang on a second. I don't even know, actually. Or is that just one item by itself? It can't be. Is this a new item that I don't know of? No, there's no way that's an item. It has to be through something. I don't know. Whatever the case is, it looks amazing. And, oh, Carowin, what's up? I didn't notice you either. I thought you were Nakota because like your name appears like similar to Nakota. But yeah, so what I've been doing here in each one is I've been taking one G-post, like very like focused G-post shot in each of the studios I've been in 10 so far. And I'm gonna make a collage of them and post them all into one post with the San Studio tag, which I believe I posted earlier, but I'm just gonna write there. That's usually what people post on X. And if you go to that hashtag, you can see hundreds and hundreds of photos from G-posters of San Studio in a variety of builds that he's been doing over the past like 4 years. I don't think all of them are up anymore, but he has quite a bit of them still up. And yeah, I'm probably just going to make like a little montage here after this just to showcase San's work. And it's just really absolutely stunning. Now I'm going to see if I can take one from here, or I'll go to a different angle. See what I meant about like a bit darker builds? Like this one I believe is probably like light 1 or light 2. It's not that bright. See what I mean when I change the manual brightness? It completely changes it. So I always make sure, at least in the normal G-pose menu, always to make sure it's either 20 below or 20 above in terms of lighting, because it drastically changes the entire vibe of it if you don't do that. See how like drastic that is? That's 40 points, and it's like insane how different that is. So I'm just going to leave manual brightness off, keep the lighting as it is. Find a more picturesque angle maybe. I don't like to do the straight on angle, so I kind of feel like you can get like really like nicer angles like this. I'll do something like I'm not an expert G-poser, guys, so it's not my forte, but I just love doing build visit photos. It's just, I don't know, it's just like a good pastime to do. I just love kind of showing it off and having the designers see like different perspectives. Like, oh, I never looked at it that way. Maybe in my next build I'll try putting that partition somewhere else. I'll try putting that bookshelf somewhere else so that you can have a bit of a tighter angle. So let me just, I think that's good enough. Yeah, I'm just gonna take a picture here. Nothing fancy. Just want to take a little shot just to have a memory of this. But yeah, like again, this is super cute. I love how he did this. Flooding the little drippy minion up with a little coffee cup. That's so cute. Anyways, does he have a book? He puts a book in some of them, but not all of them. So yeah, it doesn't look like he has a book here. I'm gonna move on to the next one, which is, let's see what we got here. This next G-Post Studio is called, and for those of you who weren't here earlier, I'm trying to read his Japanese because he only posts in Japanese. So I'm basically trying to like translate loose translations of them, so they might not be completely accurate, but I think they're pretty close. I think my Japanese is good enough where I actually know where I'm going. So this one's called A Room Filled with Greenery. Now I don't know what the actual name of it. I mean, it could just be called Green Room, who knows. But this one is still on Belias, but I'm gonna have to teleport over to the Mist. I also include the Aetheroid as well, so I'm gonna have to just do a little return, pop on over to Limsa again, and we are going to Mist Ward 10 in the subdivision, so the top mass subdivision, room 14. So let's just head on over there now. Wait, I said, no, 10, 14, right? We're gonna go to 10. I kind of like how I'm on the opposite side of the JP time zone, because I'm able to visit these builds without any competition. And by competition I mean other G posters who want to share the space with me, because the problem is with JP, well, I guess it's not a problem, it's a problem for me because I'm streaming, but I'd have to wait my turn, right? Or I'd have to come back, because people literally line up to take G-Post Studios, and if you cut that line, like, you're pretty much going to get blacklisted. So I don't want that to happen to me, and I don't want my public name shared to everyone saying, oh, this like ISO guy, this streamer, this foreign streamer is just so rude, we need to cancel him. So yeah, I'm definitely not going to do that. And like I said, I've been on JP with my main for over a year. I've learned their customs, I know what not to do, and that's definitely what you should not do if you're taking G-Poses. Always wait your turn or just come back. That's the most polite, bare minimum thing you could do. So let's head on over to, is it room 8 that he said? No. Room 14, there we go. So the description he wrote here says, we created a room that incorporates greenery. Please feel free to take screenshots. You can sit on the star part. Second image. I don't see an image here. Oh, this is weird. Hang on a second. Oh wait, the build's over here, isn't it? Oh, okay. Oh, I never seen someone do this before. They made the build sideways to the door, like perpendicular to the door. I've never seen someone do that before. Like, I know that's actually cool. That's actually neat that he even decided to do that. Because that's the door right there. But the fact that he just completely walked into the very back here and turned it around, though. That's cool. This, oh my god, this backdrop, guys. What the heck, man? I keep saying on every one of them, this is my favorite one. Oh no, this is my favorite one. Oh wait, no, this is my favorite one. I think this is actually my favorite one now. Okay, let's see where we can take a shot here. Let's see. Oh my god. This is very not me. I don't usually use much greenery in my builds or these kind of natural wood things, but I don't know, it just looks so damn good. Like, I think the celestial screens really makes this pop. Without this little circular barrier, the circumference here, that like matches the stump here, I don't think it would look quite as good. Now, man, is that a good shot. Oh my god. I love how he put the waterfall partition through here with the Queen's Rest. Like, it almost looks like a very like ancient, almost like Mayan kind of like temple look. Like, do you see that reflection there? See how the Queen's Rest is reflecting off the marble partition, or the waterfall partition that's also reflecting off of the celestial screen. Like, it's like 3 reflections. But it creates that like kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like that I think the closest word I can say is the miasmic effect, where it's kind of like not quite like a solid reflection, but almost like a fusion reflection. That's really cool. Wow, I gotta learn to do that. But yeah, that's what I want to point out there. What's on this side? Oh, this is just kind of like clutter everywhere. Yeah, I don't think there's really much more I can say about this one, like other than this is just like a very dynamic, beautiful shot here. What's up here though? I want to see what they did. Now I'm kind of wondering why they put this phasma here, though. Because I think, isn't this lighting from somewhere else? It's not from the phasma, is it? Because, well, maybe it is. I don't know. That looks so cool, though. Because I think that comes from the Queen's Rest lighting, I believe, how bright this is. I don't think it's coming from that phasma up there. I think there's a Queen's Rest up here, I believe. But yeah, in any case, this is just like an epic shot. I'm going to take another G-pose here and see if it looks good. I'm going to stand on the chair, though, because I'm so small. I think people normally sit here. Let's just see how... Oh, okay, no, that's not good. I'm just going to leave it as is, the natural lighting. Maybe I'll just... Actually, I'm going to change the camera tilt a bit because it's a bit too high. I don't really want to see that top part there. My one biggest grief about the camera tilting, I wish you could change it during G-pose so you don't have to keep exiting out of it. Because I don't think you can naturally change the actual camera tilt without it being too crazy. Like, I want to be able to use my macros inside of this because it just makes it a lot easier to make good shots. So let's see if I should do like a little zoom up. Is that too zoomed? No, I kind of want to get that top part though. That's good. That's good enough. Like I said, guys, I'm not an expert G-poser. I just kind of like to take build shots. So that's a nice one. I didn't think there was a message book here. I'm going to have to see. No, there isn't one. I'm going to have to move on to the next one here, though. Let me just... How many more we got? We got quite a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 more left. Okay, so the next one... Is this on Bellius still? I think this is the one in Foundation. Yeah, it's the last one on Bellius at least, and then we're going to head on over to Unicorn to see the rest of them, and then Zero misses the last one, I think. So, let me just post the link to, or not the link, but the actual, the actual title and the location. This one loosely translates to Bean Fox in the Atelier. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean because that really doesn't make sense to me in English, so it's got to mean something else, but this one's over in Foundation, so I'm just going to TP over there. Still on Belia, so I can just kind of like TP straight there. Let's see. Thanks. Oh wait, I went to... How did that happen? Did I not teleport to the right place? Unless I didn't set my macro correctly. Oh no, I just pressed the wrong button. Okay, let's head over to... Bean Fox and the Belias Imperium Ward 24, number 51. Okay, so it's like a private house then. Listen, right? Sunlight. Oh, there we go. Northeast Imperium, it's saying to go to that Aetheryte, so let's just head on over. Here we go. What do you say? 53 was it? No, 51. So it's the one... Oh no, it's in the subdivision. What am I saying? Should be this one, right? I hate that you can't get rid of, like, you can't zoom up on the map inside here. You can only zoom up, like, you can't zoom up on the Aetheryte map, but you can zoom up on your normal map to see this. Because when you go to the Aetheryte screen, it's completely blocked and you can't see which plot that is unless you zoom up on the actual map. I wish they would change that, seriously. So let's see what the description says here. It says, I made an atelier with a fox. So atelier is almost like a meaning, almost for like a foyer kind of area. Please feel free to visit and take photos. You can sit on the star parts. I still don't know what he means about star parts though. I must be reading something wrong. Okay, it must not be translating correctly, but... Oh wow. Wow, this is better than I thought. The photos didn't do this justice. Again, with the... Now I'm thinking back to... So, like, earlier in the stream at the very beginning, I was talking about how San made flower arrangements in his living memory GPO studio. And I completely thought it had to do with FF9 lore, but I guess I was wrong, because he's doing a similar effect here with the multi-shade roses to lead up to that stage there. Whatever the case, it looks very nice. But this is like a San specialty. Exactly the same, has a portal partition here with that garden door, and then the stone loft and the stone steps leading up to like a balcony area, like an atelier. He does this quite a bit, this formula, but this formula works and it's absolutely stunning. You can take it from a close-up angle here, you can take it from a long angle here, and it just looks absolutely stunning with the rows of flowers all lining into this focal point here. But yeah, this is just... The music's on point too. Oh my god! Like, I think a lot of people could learn a thing or two from Sans Orchestrion. Like, he really just absolutely kills the music choice every single time. Like, his builds are already so good, but that Orchestrion adds that X factor that I find that some builds are always missing. And that could just be like, I'm guessing for people who do comms it might be different, because at least for me, because I do like my own designs, like I make sure to always start with the Orchestrion first and then kind of build around that, because I want to evoke a completely immersive vibe that stays true to the music of it, which is technically the atmosphere. So I kind of always like dislike it when I see builds that just have the normal residential area music, but the build is absolutely beautiful. So yeah, guys, like, if you're making a GPO studio, especially if you're making a GPO studio, please, please, please include an Orchestrion that matches the atmosphere, because that could be a huge turn-off for GPOsers. They'll literally just walk in and walk out, because they're just not in the mood to take the shot. Some people just don't want to sit there. Like, and I only know this because I've heard firsthand from JP designers, but also JP GPOsers as well. We used to have like many fellowships, and that was a very recurring problem. with certain designers, but then I feel like it was more of like a foreign designer thing, because a lot of times in JP they really include an orchestrion. At least from my experience, they do. Unless, like I said, of course, if it's for a commission and the owner doesn't want it or they don't put one in, that's on them. But for the most part, they really try to wrap you in within that orchestrion. So yeah, I'm an orchestrion advocator. Always. I'm always gonna push that no matter what. But oh my god. Like I said, I'm not normally into these like nature kind of builds. Like it's not really my cup of tea. I'm more of like the evil, chaotic, steampunk, factory kind of builds. But I really like how varied this looks, and it's not quite parallel, right? Like I like how they offset this entire build with this slightly slanted stage panel here, or is this a white rectangular partition, I think? But they see how the flooring is slightly slanted here. He could have made this completely 90 degree, right, on both sides. But the fact that he made the little slant instantly draws you to this focal point here, right, where he wants you to stand. And that's what I kind of reiterated in all of the previous builds. If you're making a GPO studio, you want to make sure that the eye goes to exactly where you want them to take the shot. And that's clearly here, because he's got, I think that's a carbuncle lantern behind here to kind of have that little particle effect. He wants to extra focus in between these two celestial screens right here in this middle pocket here where the fox is sitting. See how you put the chair purposely right here, so if you sit down, right? Hang on, if I can even sit down. See how when you take the shot, usually it will be zoomed in. I'll just go into GPose to show you. Usually most people will zoom into like this point. See, it literally falls into this pocket right here, exactly where it jets out like a slant. So he purposely slanted it outwards towards that way, so your eye would naturally move to the 2/3 right of this room, which is exactly where he positioned the seat here. Yeah. It's like I guess it's like simple to like see once it's been done, but to actually think of it from that angle when you're building it is actually, to me, it's quite hard to do. Like I haven't made too many GPO studios, but it's like, until you've made quite a bit of them, I think like just practicing like perspective and stuff, like how you angle certain like items, like just really helps you become better at designing different spaces anyways, because like realistically it's all about perspective. Like if you can like if you can make your design evoke a feeling in a way where it just grasps the attention of the visitor immediately to where exactly you want them to look at, then I think you have a future in like being able to make really good builds. And that's why I always tell people, it's like, you really never know how creative you are until you try. Like literally before I started housing, which was like what, like a year ago-ish kind of, like I literally did not touch housing. I didn't touch any crafting or gathering. I literally had all my battle jobs maxed out with like the max gear sets you can think of, right? Only did raiding. And then here I am now doing literally like a housing stream, right? Like literally like a year later, because it's like, I think a lot of times we tell ourselves, oh, we're not creative because X and Y reason happened in my life and someone put me down for my artistry, or I didn't think it was good enough, so I completely quit. But I really don't think that's the case. I think creativity is a muscle that you can flex and that you can train. It's almost like any skill. It's like you have to be dedicated in flexing that muscle, and if you don't flex that muscle, then it's never going to improve. I don't really think that, like, I do believe that you can be you can have a more innate draw to be more creative, which kind of like sets apart someone who's extremely creative and someone who's just like an average person like myself, right? So it's like, I think like, but I still think that you can still train that muscle, that creative muscle, to be able to understand and see the patterns and also implement them. And that's what I did. I mean, I don't think my builds are absolutely amazing. Like, I think that they're okay, but it's like, considering I didn't even like want to dare touch housing like a year ago to now, is like the change is quite drastic. And that's like speaking from experience of like literally never. I didn't like art when I was growing up. I really disliked visual arts. I don't like drawing. I don't like doing any of this creative styling stuff. It was all just very practical for me. Like I'm a bit more like a hands-on person. And I mean hands-on as in like machinery, like, you know, like carpentry, like stuff like that. Like I was like really good at that stuff, but not so much on the creative side. So like the fact that I'm sitting here now and actually like even doing a housing stream and saying that like you can literally be like quote unquote not creative and somehow becoming creative, like I think it speaks volumes to like how much people can actually accomplish. Like I guess the lesson I want to instill out there is that like don't like doubt yourself, and don't say things like I can't do it. Like as soon as you say can't, you completely invalidate everything that comes after that, and you're basically stopping yourself from exploring a piece of you that could be just hidden, and you're just not giving it a chance. Like I like to say things like I will do this, but if you say I can do this, that's also kind of like it's not really quite giving you the confidence, right? Because if you say you can do it, there's a possibility that you might not be able to, right? So if you say it like I will do this, then it sets the precedent that no, I will get this done, I will finish this creative product. And that's kind of how my mindset shifted, especially when it came to housing. And I hope this kind of helps out like some of you guys here. Like I know a lot of you guys are already creatives and you guys do housing, and you've already kind of like grew up with a lot of creative stuff. But for me, from someone completely foreign coming out of this without like negative 100 like visual arts experience, like I'm telling you guys, like I am so bad drawing. Like if I would draw even like a stick figure, you guys would be like, what the hell is that? Like, and that's how bad I am, right, at that. And like, you know, I did actually explore my sketching, and I actually started getting into it more, and I find that I actually am better than I thought. Albeit I'm not great, but like what I'm trying to say, guys, is that like you can literally pretty much do anything. Like it's just like obviously to the degree in which you do it might not be as great as other people, but like I still don't think that you can just like completely limit yourself and say I can't do this. Like no, you can do this and you will. It's just whether or not you want to put your full heart into it, whether or not you're willing to put all that time and necessary pressure and the necessary exercises to achieve a level of elevation in that skill, then of course you're never going to be able to do it, because you're literally already telling yourself, no, I can't do this. And aside from creativity, that goes with anything. Like if you want to freaking like raid into like the ultimate tier, like you're gonna have to put in some work, right? Don't say you can't do it. Don't say, oh, I'll never be able to clear a savage, I'll never be able to get to that level where I can see the mechanics. No, it's like you literally just have to keep doing it until you see the patterns enough where you're like, oh, okay, I think I can do this next step. I think I can clear that extreme fight. I think now I can clear that savage. Oh wait, I think I can attempt that ultimate now, because I've seen these patterns so many times that I'm able to naturally assess what's happening on the screen and just be like, oh no, I've seen that before. I think I know where this mechanic's going to end up. And then once you see that enough, then you can just keep moving on to the next level. And that's the same with creativity. It's like once I started putting household items down, I realized, okay, maybe this is actually possible. I will commit myself to this. I will keep putting items down. I will keep putting builds out, even if it gets 0 views. I'm going to keep doing this until I find a level of satisfaction that I'm okay with. And that's what happened. And I literally only did that within like a year. Like, so like think about like those of you out there who are even a bit more creative than me, you know, have a bit more experience like growing up, like you can probably do wonders. So yeah, I don't know why I went a whole tangent there, but I like to go on these rants. But I guess like what it is I want to use like Housing Talk to me isn't just about discussing housing. It's discussing how housing can correlate and directly relate to your life, and how you can elevate your quality of life and how much you enjoy it by using skills that you would use in housing as well. And that's definitely helped me. It's changed my mindset for quite a few things in my offline life, and it just helps you grow as a person. And I think that's all, like, part of the ultimate message that I want to instill in people. It's like, you always want to get better, and don't like ever like limit yourself, because there's a way. There's always going to be a way to like do something better. So yeah, maybe I do like nature builds. I get all this greenery really put some oxygen into me, even though it's through a screen. And I'm able to go on this crazy tangent about how like you should like improve in life and stuff. I don't know. Maybe I do like nature builds, actually. I don't know. Wait, did I take a picture? I got so carried away. Oh my god. Thank god Alora wasn't here. We would have like went on for hours about this, but I don't think I put this camera angle down. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna take a shot here. Oh, that's such a good shot. Maybe I can bring it a bit closer. Oh, I like the wider shot though. It shows off everything. That's, I don't know. Now I'm being so perfectionist over this. I think I'm just gonna take a shot and move on. Yeah, that's perfect. I just didn't want that sunlight kind of shining in too much. It was a bit, it was changing the lighting in there. I didn't like it. Oh, I did with the eyes closed. Whatever, it's fine. I had another one where I caught myself with the eyes closed. I should have just paused the view, but I thought, whatever. It's like, it's natural. I don't want to become too much of a perfectionist when it comes to this. So let's move on to the next one here. This is, how many we got here? I think the next one might be on Unicorn. I'm going to have to check those to be sure. This next one, no, it's on Shinryu. I forgot that there was a couple other extra ones that he had. So this next one that I'm going to go to is called the Plant Room. So I guess another nature build that I don't like. I guess I'll end up liking it now. Maybe San can change my mind about natural builds. So this one's over Shinryu Goblet, Ward 27, Sultana subdivision, the expanded town. So that's Nanamo Windmill is basically like Sultana's breath, is how Japanese people, like, that's how it translates. So we're gonna have to go to the 27th Ward in Goblet on Shinryu, and the Sultana's breath subdivision, room 1. So yeah, let's just head on over there now. I'm just gonna actually make sure I actually transfer to Shinryu, because I didn't do that last time. I was like, where's this build? Like, how come they said like the room was here, but it's not actually here? So I'm just gonna have to see like what's going on here. So okay, just gonna make sure I'm actually on Shinryu. Okay, good. Current world Shinryu. Okay, now wait, why isn't this? Oh no, it's registered world. Let me see. What did I say it was? Wow, it's on the screen. I forgot already. 27 subdivision. Perfect. Let's see what San has for us today. Another one. Oh, it's pretty much the only one here. Yeah, Meteor, if you guys, before I go into this room, if you guys ever want to come to JP and like do housing and stuff, I highly suggest going to Meteor, because Meteor is pretty much like the 4th DC, kind of like how Dynamis is on NA. There's much more housing on Meteor. The only thing is that the population on Meteor is pretty small, I'd say. But you can always just travel to like Mana or Gaia if you have to like do content, or Mana and Elemental. Sorry, Elemental is more for like English-speaking folks, and Mana is more for like if you want to raid. But I would just say go to Mana, because like that's where most of the people are. It's kind of like the ether of JP, the raiding server. So let's just head on into San's room now. So I'm just going to read the description here. He says, I made a room in my apartment to spend time with my Java Sparrow. Please feel free to take screenshots, etc. The recommended time is from 15 o'clock onwards. What's that? It's like 3 p.m. then? So it's like mid-afternoon? ET at night, and during times when the sun is not shining, it is dark, so please adjust the brightness to your liking using GPOs. The main studio building is in the same area, so please feel free to come there too. Number 41, District 27. So I guess he's saying that like there's that medium house on plot 47 that's right beside here that we'll have to run over to afterwards because it's literally in the same ward, so we don't have to like teleport anywhere after this. So he's saying 3 p.m. on. I don't even know what the server time is, but I guess I'm at the right time because the sun is shining in pretty perfectly here. Wow. Okay. Okay. Well, this is a view. Maybe I do like nature views. Oh, okay. Wow. Inoko, if you're still here, I don't know if you left or not, but I wonder if you built this build now. Look at all these aqueducts. And I never liked using them, but they actually look pretty good here. Oh, man. I don't really have much to say about this one other than it's beautiful. I like how he hit the Phasmascapes up here, like the night sky ones. Just to create the extra pockets of lighting that's coming down. So if you left that bare, see again, like when you come in, right? If you left this bare and you had no lighting up here, and just the lighting coming from here, your eye is immediately going to catch to the left. And that's not where he wants you to look. He wants you to look in this middle part here, where the portal partition is, the center part where the chair is. And the only way that you'd ever look that way is if he has lighting at the top to force you to look down right here. So yeah, let's just have a seat here and take a G-pose. But yeah, like I said, I don't really have much to say about this one because it's pretty similar to the other ones that I showed. So let me just put the camera angle down. Maybe I'll put it to 20. Okay, that's a good spot. And I will take a G... Oh! Wow, that actually looks kind of cool with the low light. Let's see. Maybe 70 or 80 maybe. 80 is better. Okay. Maybe I'll just take them like that. There we go. It's a nice simple one, but like diagonal view. Alright. Let's see if I can get to another one here. Okay. So I guess I came at the right time. Thank God Alora wasn't here because usually when Alora's with me, we come at the absolute wrong time, which is literally like an hour after the sunlight ends. And then we just never end up going back, so we don't actually are able to showcase the full extent of the build. So let's see, what's this next room here? We've only got a few left, so the next one here is this even the right one? Hang on a second, guys. Wait, this one's just called San Studio? Wait a second here. I think this must be one of his early ones that he still has up, if it's just called... Oh, there's a few in here, eh? It looks like there's 4 different rooms, or at least 4 different sides of the room. This is the one that's on the medium plot 41, the one right beside here. So let me just put the actual name of it so you guys can see it. Just that when you're watching the VOD, you can kind of like follow along to see exactly where it is. And if you guys ever want to come here yourselves and take some G poses, that's where it is. So we're just going to that medium plot over here, the plot 41 right here. At least that's what I think it is. I'm pretty sure I remember that being plot 41. Okay, I'm just gonna check before I go in. Yep, it's San Studio. Okay, perfect. Let's see. Ooh. Nice. This is very bougie. Okay, so it's just the lobby then here. They didn't block off any of the stairs, which is what they normally don't do. I feel like I'm completely underdressed for this though, because I'm just in my casual outfit in this like master bedroom. Oh wait, I think I have that glam, like the yes, I do. I have the Seneschal's Prince jacket, and that's a bit more fitting to this. See, don't I just look so much better now? I'm not just in my casual outfit. Let me, I want to find a good angle for this, but... should I be maybe dozed, or what? Another doze shot? See, I don't want to take the stereotypical angle, which is this angle. That's basically what most people would do, because it's like centered around this little like main bed part, but I think I might just take one from the side here, honestly. Like this. It still shows out the picture, but at least I'm not taking that stereotypical, you know? Maybe I'll just do this. Yeah, let me hop in the G-post and see how it turns out. So I'm definitely going to keep that up, but maybe bring it down to 60. The lighting's probably a bit better. Let's see. Okay, that's good. That's good enough. Just want to take a little quick shot so at least capture this memory here. Not much to say about this one. Oh, except for this. See what I mean? A lot of people use this marble fountain as a custom chandelier. This time, the reason why I think he didn't put like the little trestles falling through is because he didn't need it to pour down here. The point is, the focal point is here with the curtains coming down on all four sides. If you put any more detail here, it would completely ruin the entire image here. So he just wanted to be able to block off that the chandelier, but also to make a kind of like a more ornate ceiling as opposed to just leaving it like the rug. Or I think it's either the carpet, the greige carpet, or it's the royal partition. I think it's the carpet though because of the texture, but he at least wanted some kind of centerpiece here because, like I said again, it is like a very luxurious, regal bed. So he had to make at least some kind of a distinct pattern here. Instead of leaving it like just that gray greige color, it just wouldn't really work. So yeah, overall like really neat. But I read here, like let me just like read, guys, like sorry, I'm just gonna read what he said down here, because on that post on XIV he says the studio has been renovated. Since the illumination level is 0, it's generally dark, so it is recommended to adjust the brightness of the group to take a photo, which is what you saw me do with the G-pose menu, right? So the first one says luxurious bedroom, it's dark. The second one is room in the wood. The amount of light changes depending on the time of day. Then there's the astrologer study. I recommend going during the day when the sunlight shines in. And the last one is flower box. There are 3 beds so you can lie down using the dozy mode. I hope you enjoy it. So I'm assuming there's like multiple studios here. Let's just go upstairs and see what's here. He probably has another one up here, doesn't he? Okay, yeah, he does. He has multiple just... Okay, I understand now. He has multiple studios in the build. Oh. Man, like this is what I'm saying, guys. Like, I normally wouldn't really like this kind of build too much, honestly. But the music really does it for me, seriously. Like that, like the soft strings orchestrion from the rendition of, I believe it's the Eden music, right? Is it? Am I remembering this wrong? I think it's Eden. But yeah, like, wow. Because I think that's kind of atypical to have these bookshelves here contrasted with this very dark, deep blue. Because like I believe like the blue is more to represent Eden and stuff, but that's very clashing to me. But somehow it works. I don't know how he did that, but I'm here for it. Because that just looks like an abrupt ending to like the wall. It's like you know there's a wall there, and it's not that immersive because it's so. It's like it's just like here too. The wall abruptly ends. Like there's no really corner piece here to wrap this. Like if he had put like a column maybe here and maybe on the other side as well, or even just on the one side, I think it would look a bit more immersive, but he probably just ran out of slots. I'm just going to assume that because, yeah, I don't know. There's something off about this one. I'm still going to take a picture though because it does look nice, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I think there's something weird going on there. Yeah, I'm just going to keep lights off. There we go. Wait, did I put it to 0? I think I should put it to 0. No, I'll put it to 50 actually. Oh, that's a bit too wide because I don't want to show the outside. That's... I'm just going to take that angle, that looks good. I just want some varied angles for the collage that I'm going to make at the end. I gotta learn to do clutter though, I'm not good at that. Oh, can you sit here too maybe? Yeah, you can sit here. See, this is another angle you can do the Jeepo shot at. Maybe for a bit more of a close-up, right? Okay. Let's see the other ones, though. Is there another one behind here? Hang on. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna head down to the basement to see if he has those other 2 studios, because there are 2 more down there. So let's just see what he has going on. Okay, so that's one of them. Let's... Oh yeah, okay, so I'm guessing there's 2 down here, so let's go to this one. Wait, what is this? Wait, I don't mean to be that guy, but like, what is this? Hang on, let me look at the post that he has here. It says... Oh, okay, I see, so it is just like a flower box. This is flower box. There are 3 beds, so you can lie down using the dozy mode. So I'm guessing this flower box has beds inside of it then, is what he's saying? I think these are the backs of the grade 3 picture frames, right? And it's just wrapped all the way around. Let's just see if I can doze. Okay, let's see. Okay. Malala basically just like disappears though. I'm gonna change back to my my normal glam because it's more fitting for this box. Yeah, I'll do that or something. Yeah, there we go. Brightness up would be better. Can I zoom in anymore? That looks pretty cool. Yeah, I'm gonna zoom all the way up. I want to get a close-ups there. That's a really nice one. Just something a bit different, right? Just more of like an aerial view, very close up, not really showing much of the sides there. Okay, that was a cute idea. I actually appreciate that. I didn't at first, but it's good to change things up a bit and make it a bit more creatively diverse instead of just like an actual like hallway. Like they made it like the top view here, which is a nice breakup of the change. What's around here though? Ooh, okay, there's nothing here. Okay. Yeah, I'll doze here as well then. I think this whole build was just me dozing, I think. Let's see. Can I change my angle maybe? Oh, I know what this song is now. It's the Shiva song from the amphitheater, the Extreme. But it's like so I guess it is like the Eden rendition then. should I take this? Okay, let me just hop into GPOs and see what the best angle is here. Like 70? Yeah, 70 is perfect. We'll do it like that. Yeah, I'm gonna do it like an off angle. It looks a lot cooler that way. Yeah. So I guess that's it for... Yeah, that's it for this one then, I think. What's the next one we got here? So that was cool. There was 4 and 1. I didn't expect that. Oh, no, that's not the right one. Got a few left. So, oh, this is actually his newest one that we're going to go to, but I wasn't going in order of release date. I was going in order of the alphabetical order of the actual DCs in the servers. So basically, I'm kind of going down the list on Meteor. So we were on Belias, then we went to Shinryu, now we're on Unicorn, and then we're going to end on Zero Mist, because there's a couple there on the last. But this is the newest build that he has currently up. It is called Psyche, I believe. Yeah, Psyche. So I'm just going to post that there in the chat so you guys can follow along. So this one I'm going to have to make a server hop. So I'm just going to TP right to Goblet again, and then just hop on over to Unicorn. Alright, so Ward 17, Subdivision Room 6. Right. Let's see. I did see the image on X probably last couple weeks ago when you released it. I forget how recent it was, but it is very recent. Love the Heaven's Ward music. Oh, this is very picturesque, like literally picture perfect, this one. I don't want to break immersion, but I also want to see what he did down there. Okay. Because he had to float it up somehow, right? Especially this bench here. See how he made this bench here jutting out? Yes, it is to put these tabletop items on so you could show them, but it's also acts as a little ledge so it doesn't just do a complete drop. Because if that bench wasn't there, and you were to look at this from any other angle, let's say you did like an aerial view or a slightly different angle, you would see what he was using at the base of that. Like, you just see the green here and just wouldn't look good. So, and it also acts as a ledge too for you to stand on so you can actually be at that height. Yeah, it's a really smart idea to put all that there. Okay. Maybe I will change to another glam. Maybe this one for this. This was my main glam for like years. Pretty much when I got to Endwalker, because of my love for the Ancients, I basically only wore this glam like everywhere. Like for every class. And then, yeah. Yeah, I'll do... Oh, maybe I'll do an off-center one, actually. Oh, that's very dark. I'll keep it at the normal brightness. I mean, the picturesque way would just be doing it like everyone else is doing it by just showing the entire border of it, but I feel like I gotta change it up a bit because everyone's doing it from this angle. Like, don't get me wrong, it is pretty and that's the whole point of the build, but like the good thing about the G-Post stuff is that you can be creative with it. You don't have to necessarily post it front facing like everyone else is. So I might actually like zoom up a bit and actually... I do want to show some of it though, but I also want to be a bit different with this. I actually like that a lot more. I'm gonna assume we'll do that. There we go. I like the side angles more and just kind of change it up a bit. So, oh, there is a message book here. This is amazing. Okay. What's the next one here? Starbird bedroom. So this one's Ward 18, I believe, still in the goblet. So let's just copy this over. Ward 18, plot 56. So I'm just going to teleport back to it. Well, duh. See, 1856. Making sure it's the right one. Yeah, Sun Studio. There we go. Alright, what's in here? Description says, please field or take screenshots. The recommended time is between 3 and 5:30 Eastern. I made the shooting star on the wall an upside down shooting star. Okay, what does he mean by that? Oh, here's what he means. Because shooting stars usually go downwards, right? So usually this would be on the bottom, right? Because the star is coming down. But he's saying that he inverted it. So there's shooting stars going up. I wonder if that was a reason. Like, I wonder if that was a reason as in he wanted to make it inverted. Or it was an explanation as to why he couldn't make it the right way. Like, maybe there was something to do with the item where he couldn't, like, maybe it would just bleed through if it was at the bottom, maybe? That's the only thing I can assume, because I've never seen shooting stars going upwards, so I'm only assuming there was some kind of, like, housing limitation as to why he couldn't flip it to the right way. There. It still looks beautiful nonetheless, and, like, I would have immediately known what it was, even if it was inverted. Just because of how he has the overall layout structured. You got all these shiny little gold piles. You got the sparkling stars. You got like the moon there, you know, like really big patches, and like the lines give it away. Like, I'm not gonna think it's anything else, but I found it funny that he gave a reason for that. I think it's probably because he didn't want people to be like thrown off. Be like, wait a second, those aren't shooting stars. What is that, right? So he probably just wants to give a little explanation because, like I said, there was probably some kind of housing limitation there, and he couldn't quite sift these through without it colliding with something else, I think, which is what it was. Yeah. Really, really neat, though. I barely see people do this with a bed. Like, put the flower arrangements and the candles through. I mean, the candles is already a safety concern to me. Because, like, I mean, I feel like this is gonna, like 3 of them are gonna tip over at any second, but yeah, I really like that little soft flower trim around there because it's really not too busy, but it does still add some kind of like a dynamic layering that would look super awkward if you put here, like right in front of this partition. It would look a bit too busy here. And yet again, they want you to focus your attention to either the shooting stars or actually dozing on this bed. So if you had these floated up a bit higher to block this partition, it would look way too busy here because you've got the pillows already there. You've got all the clutter of candles and flowers and the clock and the lamp all at this bottom here. So they want to add the similar effect, but also at the base of the item too, so that they wouldn't completely clog this point of view right here. This little section really does matter to be left blank. So I'm glad that they kind of shifted it. To me, I don't know what item they could have used better here, but to me it still looks kind of awkward. This is a white, I think it's a white rectangular partition, right? Yeah, it's like dyed blue. I don't know what he could have put there though to make it not awkward. Maybe like more of a wooden tone, maybe like the back of a Glade cabinet or something. Maybe would have worked a bit better. Just for like a... The thing is, it wouldn't be as smooth, but it just... I don't know, for some reason it looks kind of like awkward to have this navy blue white rectangular at the bottom here. Like I feel like it would have been much better if he put even the back of like a bookcase shelf or whatever, right? Well, maybe not this one, but like, I don't know, it looks off to me. I don't know what it is, but this actually makes me want to kind of change positions now because I mean, I want to think that I'd be able to give a fair critique to it. I'm not saying the build is bad, because it definitely isn't bad, but I think I can still have an opinion on it without being cancelled. So I just think there could have been a better item to use here, but maybe things snapped, possibly. Maybe if you used another item, like instead of the white rectangular, it wouldn't have worked out. But I don't know. I don't know why I did that, but let's not just focus on that though. This is another weird part to me because, hang on, because like, I love the actual chandelier itself, and it does match this whole theme of the shooting stars and, you know, the like the planets and stuff, right? Like the beautiful blue night sky with the phasmascape, the beautiful night sky out here behind the partitions, the beautiful blue night sky here with the Christerian wall. But like, I don't know, I just feel like this could have been polished a bit more. Like, I don't know. I probably have to ask him for myself why he did that, but it's just like when you look up, you're like, wait a second, it's kind of like awkwardly and it's not centered either, right? That's the other thing. I'm just gonna think that the reason why this isn't centered and like where the chandelier is, like, is probably because he wants to shift our attention to here no matter what, which is the left side. And if he made this a bit too long, like let's say this partition here was like overly linked, let's say like it went all the way out to like here, right? This blue rectangular partition, if it went all the way out to here, he'd have to create even more stars, right? Like shooting stars, and it might not even fit the build because it might be too long, and then that would expose other parts that couldn't really fit. Like it wouldn't feel right visually if he extended this partition, so maybe that's why. I don't know, like maybe it's the perfectionist in me or something, but every time I look at when something's like not aligned, I just think they could have centered this, couldn't they have? I don't know. Yeah. But again, we're not supposed to be really looking up considering he has so much lighting down further below. Like, most of the lighting is just going to be in the single pane here, so I'm not really looking up, right? Or if I'm on this bed, I'm pretty much looking here, not up here. So if you were to go from this camera, let's say I took the GPOs here, right? I would have no reason to look up above this anyway, so it really doesn't matter if it's centered or not, right? Like, that's probably why it is. And also here too, with the telescope extending like this, if he did center this in this telescope, like, I feel like it would be conflicting to have this such a large golden structure here right beside the chandelier. So maybe that's why it's shifted over to this left quadrant here. just so it gives kind of like room for perspective on this large telescope, and not block this little, this grade 3 portrait here. That's probably the reason why, but yeah, for some reason it just looks kind of off to me, just the same as this white rectangular partition down here. It's not quite right for some reason. The rest of it's really like nice though, and I really love this. I think, is this the Endwalker trophy thing that you get from Endsinger, I believe, like that item? I think that was one of the coolest tabletop trophies that they actually made, because if you zoom in and you look at that, see how it's literally like a holographic space pattern behind it? It depends how you move. See when you move? See that into that circle there? When you move, the whole space moves along with you like a mirror. That's really cool. Wow. And I don't know, it just somehow matches with the buildings and the planets kind of like lining up around, and then with that backdrop, it just works very well. He definitely contrasted the colors well for that. I kind of wish this portrait was in the center now, and maybe have this window off to the side, but I don't know. Maybe I'm having too many thoughts about this, but it's just, it feels kind of awkward for some reason. I don't know what it is. Nevertheless, I'm gonna have to take a screenshot, so I'm gonna have to like decide where I want to go with this. I think dozing is probably the best way to get this as most centered as possible. Yeah, it's probably the best. I'm gonna just go to GPOs and see what we're working with here. All right. Man, I can't get a good angle. This is, maybe that's enough? I don't know, there's something awkward about this, man. I don't know what it is. I just don't feel good taking a picture here for some reason. Maybe at the window? Maybe I'll have it facing backwards and see. Oh, that's cool. I didn't even know that had that starry effect behind it. Look, you can see, that's so cool. You can see the entire, it's as if you're looking into space, even though it's a very small tabletop trophy here. That's cool that it's not opaque. Like, that's so cool that it's not translucent or transparent. You can look through. It's actually opaque and it covers the entire surface area. Just that little part of the trophy. Wow. That's so cool. Look at that. It's like, I literally look like I'm in space, right? Like it literally feels like there's no other build behind this, which is the crazy part. But then when you look out, it's like, oh no, it's just a tabletop item. I think it's the right angle for this. I'm gonna have to lower this just a bit. Maybe off to the side here like this. That looks a bit better. Maybe look at that then. Then at least I can still show off the shooting stars here without completely messing up with the build. I don't know, this telescope's kind of in the way too. It's probably the best shot I can get, to be honest. I'm just gonna take that. I don't feel confident about this one, unfortunately. I just don't think that there's really like a good angle to do it from. I don't know. I don't feel good about that one, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna feel perfect in every build. Let me just write my comments and be on my way. Let's see we're very close to the end, I believe. Let me see what else we have. We have three, at least, I think it's like about 3 rooms left. So this one's still on Unicorn. Is this in the same, I think this is in the same house, this one. This one's called Luxury Bedroom. Unicorn, Goblet, Ward 18, Plot room 56-1. Okay, so this is basically in the same building as here. It's just the only room, I guess, that exists in this build. Can you click through it through here, or no? You have to wall through, I think. Let's see what we got here. Okay, yeah, it is the only one in here. He does that with a lot of them. I guess when he has certain themes, you kind of want to pair them up and not have them be too drastic. What does it say here in his post? He says, created a luxurious bedroom. Please enter the private room through the wall. If you get stuck, you can get out by selecting communication, housing, move to entrance. So he doesn't really have an actual description for this one. It's just that it's teaching you how to get out of a sticky situation if you can't transfer correctly. Okay. This... I want to appreciate this, but I feel like I can't. And the reason why I say that is because literally a few studios ago, we saw pretty much the same build, right? And you know that medium house that we saw, plot 41 on Shinryu? We basically saw the exact same build, but the colors were inverted, right? Like the other luxurious bedroom that he had, it was like the black and red kind of theme. You had the black stage panels, the black rectangular partitions, but then you had the red and gold curtains coming down. And although the curtains were positioned a slightly different way, I would say it's pretty much the same build. You got the same golden bed, just the Thavnarian screen pushed towards more to the outside, using a few different materials here, right? Still the same Yulmuran divan, still the same Sildan side table with the tea and the glass there. Still the same chair here, but instead of inverting 45 degrees towards the bed, it's going 45 degrees outside of the bed. So I'm not sure if that was like an intentional decision that Son did for the studio. Like maybe he was wanting to make like a kind of like a light and dark luxurious bedroom. But if not, I mean, maybe he completely forgot that he even did the previous one. I don't think so. I think it was very intentional because he intentionally made sure that all of the pieces were slightly rearranged in a different way. Like I said, the seat facing the mirror this time, the Thavnarian partition being pushed out towards us more, the entrance, and also the blinds being slightly more straight and dynamic as opposed to the cluttered knots and stuff around like a central portrait. This time he doesn't have a portrait. He wants your eyes to look upwards, right? He wants you to see what I missed? He wants you to see that chandelier there. He wants you to see that custom chandelier. Well, not custom chandelier, but he has an ornate marble piece from the last one, right? But this time he has the chandelier actually pronounced and shooting down. And it's really nice that he did that because this build in general is from a different perspective. This one, he wants you to look at it height-wise, like a vertical build, right? The previous one that we saw in Shinryu basically was inverted colors and he wanted you to look horizontally. And that's why he completely covered this top part. He had no vertical chandelier here, just the flat ceiling, and then he had the flat, this grade 3 partition on this side, so you look only in this spot here. But now in this one, he's completely changed it on you, so yeah, I guess it is different in that sense. So I guess he did make it a lot different. That was just my initial analysis, but it appears that he did make that on purpose. Yeah. I like this one a lot more though. I usually like darker colors, but I really like... I think especially when you play a small race, you want to be in a build that's significantly greater than you, height-wise, like lengthwise, height-wise, right? Because like it just means that the immersion, to me at least, increases because it feels like you're actually in a greater space than yourself. When you have those builds that are kind of like a shortened, like that previous one where it was like a horizontal kind of build, it makes you feel a bit, well, at least to me, a bit claustrophobic and not really wanting to take a photo. And that's why you saw I completely laid my Lala down on the bed, because it didn't really make me want to see all the other features that were going on in the room. It made me strictly want to see only this part of the bed, which I found was kind of a waste. But again, like, other people probably see it differently. If you're tall, you'd probably much prefer the shorter height there. But like I said, this just seems a lot more luxurious than the last one, a lot more regal than the last one. So I'm just gonna maybe just take the shot right here then. Actually, I was thinking of changing back, but I don't think this quite matches the color scheme. Oh, that's actually pretty good, actually. Should I maybe turn around? No. I want to face this way, actually. Just kind of get slowly in there. Let me take the G pose from up to the, from the bottom to the top, or I take it like here so you can see the longitude of this. Let me see what would be better. No, I'll leave the lighting as it is, but what about that loses the whole focus of it, though. It's supposed to show. This is so conflicting. Like, I want to show this upper chandelier, but I don't want to show this kind of protruding trim here. I wish you could dye that part, honestly. That's the one thing I don't like about the older items, that like they didn't retroactively put dye channels in all of the older items, which I believe they should have done, honestly. But I get it. They can't spend too much time on housing items when they're trying to improve the actual content, like the battle content, right? That they're exploring more, especially in 7.2. But I really think hopefully eventually they get around to actually making everything multi-dye, because this is really protruding and not in a good way, especially if you take a lengthwise shot like this. Like, to have such a pronounced horizontal edge here ruins the entire picture. So the only way I think I'm going to be able to do this, I think, is if I slightly... I think it's the highest I could possibly go, I think, without making it... this is a hard one. I think I'm going to have to bite the bullet and just take that shot, but I don't want to, like, unless I do it like this. No, that's the only way. But that still looks beautiful. It's just, I just don't know why this little trim just bothers me here. That's okay. I think I'm just gonna take the shot. Yeah, that's fine. I did want to show the chandelier more than anything, because that was the part that set the other one apart from this one. This was, I needed to show that so that it was more vertical than the other one. Okay, I think that's it then for that one. Man, how many do we have left? I feel like I've been talking for like hours. Okay, so it looks like we have 2 left here. So the second last one, I believe this is the one you're on Zero Miss, unless it's still on your... No, the last one's on Zero Miss. So let's just see. This one's called Sheltering from the Rain with Morpho. Now, like I said, this is my loose translation from the actual words on his post. It could just be called Shelter from the Rain, who knows, right? I think Morpho maybe is just like a stylistic choice that he put there. We won't know until we actually get there. Maybe he has like a big Morpho theme there. But let me just put what I think the title is, the address, and also the closest aetheryte. So we are heading over to Goblet again. I'm just, to make it easier, I'm just going to head over to the aetheryte at the main Old Dub Plaza. I'm going to go to Ward 21. Plot number 33. Okay, so that is in the expansion ward, which is the subdivision ward. Okay, let's... Oh, I almost mistyped that. Let me just head on over. $33, where is that? I think it even says which, Goblet North. Am I not looking at this right? North Subdivision, right? Yeah, North Subdivision. There we go, because it's expansion, so. Where is this one? Oh, it's one of these ones. This one right here, isn't it? Yeah, Sun Studio. Okay, perfect. Oh, I love how he made the diagonal here. I usually don't comment on outdoors, but I like that he didn't give any nonsense here. He completely blocked off this part. He completely blocked off this. The only real way you could do is just go diagonal towards the door. Like, not waste time, right? Like, because he doesn't want you to see the outside. He wants you to see the inside. So the quicker you get inside, the better. And if there's a line that forms outside too, that's also another reason why he did it like that, so that people can naturally form a line towards the door. As all JP folks do, they wait in line. So before I put the camera angle up, I'm just going to read exactly what he said. He says, so San's saying in his post, this is a studio where people can take shelter from the rain, inspired by butterflies that rest on the underside of leaves when it rains. Please feel free to visit and take photos. The recommended time to take photos is between 3 to 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Please note that the butterfly on the right will disappear from the screen if you uncheck the NPC in the group display settings. Okay, let me just make sure then. I don't know. Oh, he's talking about this more over here, right? Because it's attached to a mannequin, right? Like, this is the Ilmeg robe. I believe this is the one that you get from Mog Station, the newer one. I think this is the one that if you guys were here for my, which tour was it? My JP Design tour last week, last Friday. Fee Oysten, another old school housing designer on NA. She was wondering where that Morpho was from because one of the builds had it. And yeah, if you guys don't know, this is like a newer, I don't actually know, but they said it was a newer housing item in the Mog Station. I don't really buy Mog Station costumes. I kind of like to stick with my basics and kind of go from there. But if you do want this beautiful Meg Deca robe, you can get it in the Mog Station. And it is pretty nice. It's got very pronounced wings. It's pretty bright. You can multi-dye it. Actually, I think this is the same one that was used in, what was it? If you guys are still here, I think that the FC contest that we had on EU, I think someone had this outfit already. So I guess it's been out for a while now. I just never paid attention to it. But yeah, so like I said again, if you guys do come in here and you do take a G-pose, make sure that what Sam was saying, just make sure you uncheck. Oh, just make sure you have the check on NPC group display settings, because I believe this just doesn't show up if you don't have the check mark checked off in G-pose. Some people kind of leave it off because they don't want like mannequins to be in the way, but this build is dependent to having this mannequin here. So please, if you come, just make sure that you check off NPC on the display settings, and then you'll see this effect here. But yeah, this is another, like I said, another Sand special. Portal partition with the garden door. That's his signature for almost all of his builds, with the stone flooring, the stone hedges, and usually the stone stairs going up, but this time he decided to create it on the base level, which is a nice change for him. And I think that's because he dropped the ceiling down quite a bit. He's got the marble fountain floated a bit lower. He's got, I think it's because of the portal partition here, he wants to make sure that he covers any loose ends here, so he had to force the entire build to ground level. But yeah, this looks, this is nice. I welcome this change by San, because San, you're amazing and all, but I got kind of sick of seeing the same stone stairs going up onto a terrace. Like, it's kind of nice that you're changing it here, because it creates like better angle. I believe it creates better angles for Lalas, at least, because we like to be, although we like jumping, I also like to take shots that are a bit closer to the ground. I don't always need to be lofted up. I kind of want to take it from a different angle. So let's just see what we can do from here. I don't think there's really much room I can work with that much. I'm going to have to not show certain things, unfortunately. That's the part I kind of don't like about it too, because I should include the morpho though, seriously. I think that's about as good as angle that I can get, at least. Like I said, guys, I'm not an expert G-posers. I just like to do build shots, so I don't use any shaders. I just take this for the memories. I've got a whole folder in my Google Drive, like probably a couple 100 gigabytes, probably, of just like all these build visits that I've visited on JP and a EU OC, mostly JP though, because usually when someone posts, there's like 7 builds a day, and I don't know. I just find it's easier. Like there's just more interest for me to take pics on JP. I don't know why. It's just I guess they just have more builds that come out at once, and usually it's not privated. A lot of the Western designers, they privated their addresses, and like I understand the reasons for it, but that's like my reason as to why I mostly strictly just go to JP to grab build visit photos, because a lot of the times they have the addresses public, or they just have more studios in general. So that's why I come to JP more often to do that. But yeah, I think I'll just take it like a simple one. I don't need anything crazy. Maybe I'll take one even up close a bit, because I think it's a bit far. Like that. That might be a better shot, actually. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's a better shot. Just a bit closer. Makes it a bit more personal, because it was way too far away. My pet peeve is leaving any outside edges. So like you saw when I was in G-pose there, leaving that outside edge is sometimes troublesome, because it kind of forces my eye down there when I'm looking at the picture. If I zoom up at least a bit, I hide that. It creates more of, oh, I should be looking here, not like down here at this corner. So let's see. Normally I would say, hey, where's the orchestrion? But this is actually nice to leave it silent. Yeah, sometimes it's better just to not have anything at all. Yeah. What do we got for the next one? I think this is... We're coming on to the last one, or the second last one, I believe. Let's see what we got here. Okay. I believe this last one, yes, this is the one on 0. So we're supposed to be 2, but for some reason the other one was locked. I believe whoever San did it for, or maybe San himself, he might have been renovating it. So this is the only one that's open at the time. It's called Elegant Bath Time. I'm going to post the final address in here. It is on 0 Mist, Ward 28, Subdivision, Room 8. Top Master Room 8. So this is the Top Master Division. So let's just do a return, head on over to Mist, and head towards our final build of San Studio. Alright. Okay. Eight. Expansion room 8. Okay, let's see. I hope this is the right one and I'm not reading this completely wrong. It's just the Japanese, they kind of reverse their kanji around a bit, and sometimes they have the adjectives after the name, so that's why. Yeah, it is room 8. Okay, perfect. I did read it right. So, what he says here is, it's a little difficult to take a picture, so try adjusting the camera on your group pose. Using the sit on the ground emote makes it appear as if you are submerged in hot water. Have a wonderful bath time. Oh, I see what he means now, because let me just show you, I guess, when I pan my camera angle up. Yeah. I see what he means. Because if you just do a normal sit, he put a little bench here, right? Like he hid it under that cabinet. But if you do a normal sit, you're kind of like slightly above the water with your legs dipping in, right? But if you do, I guess, sit on ground, right? The ground sit, I guess, is for us, it's called ground sit. That's what he means, like you're kind of partially submerged in water. I really like that he kind of increased the height a bit there, because normally Lalas would just be completely submerged because they're so small, but the fact that he accounted for that, because this isn't the normal, do you see this divider here? That's not the normal, like this green divider here. This is not the normal height of the bathtub. He kind of slightly shifted it upwards. Like there's like a faux thing underneath here. See, my head just floats above the water, which is so creepy too. I don't know if I want to take that shot. I think I'm gonna... Well, I guess I could. I want to see how it turns out, because that's kind of funny to me. It's not quite... Oh, that looks kind of cool, man. Like that, but I think the brighter is better. The side eye that I give Alora all the time. I don't know, my Lala always looks pissed off. I don't know why. I don't know, I think he's still super cute though. So I think because I'm so small though, and I'm not tall, I think I'm gonna actually have to I think 20 is the best. I'm gonna actually, can I sit on this side? No, it's over here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to just sit on here because it's a bit too like cozy. Like, I mean, if the water cut, you know, right below my neck, maybe towards my chest, I'd be okay with it. But like I said, my head was barely bobbing up there, so I think I'm just gonna take it from this seat here. I can definitely get a better angle here. I'm trying not to take this part because, oh, that's just towel. I guess I can include that in, but I kind of don't like having these upper extra portions, like this sliver right here. It kind of makes it a bit too cluttered because this is supposed to be completely smooth willow back piece, right? So you have even the sliver of that towel there. It kind of ruins the shot. So maybe I'll go from a different angle then. I don't think there is one though. That's the problem. And I can't sit on this side, which is the unfortunate part. Maybe do this. That's a pretty funny shot. It's not really peaceful though, is it? And I do want to make sure I include this lamp here. So maybe, I'm so indecisive about this, but I just want to make sure it's like not just like just right, but like good enough. I don't want to just like leave with a random shot here, so. Man, that's really bugging me here, this little sliver that's poking out. Like, once you notice, that's the thing about taking build visits a lot. Like, there's certain things where it's like, if you don't take them often, or if you don't build too many like G-post spaces, you don't really like think about that, like how it could affect the central focal point, which is obviously in this half of the bathtub right here. But so basically below this willow bench, but also in this little quadrant here, this square. I believe this was just unavoidable, whatever you put here, but it's just like, you see what I mean? Like, once you notice that little spot, you can't unsee that. So I'm gonna have to change how I'm gonna put it to 0 camera tilt and see if that helps. Maybe I can put it so it's just sneaking below it. No, it doesn't work. Maybe, okay, there, I don't really see it. It's not quite as beautiful though, that's the problem. Maybe like this. Maybe that's a bit better. That's actually okay. I'm in such deep focus with this one. I usually don't take this long to take like a little like build snap, but I think the reason why is because it's the last one, but I also want to make sure when I do post this that at least I get some kind of the build, some of the build captured in there. I don't want San to think that I just like randomly took a screenshot here without really thinking about what he put, because I don't want to do his build disservice, right? Like I don't want to just like focus like this and completely miss like half the rest of the build. I think I might have to bite my bullet about this little sliver here because it's not looking I can get a good angle without it, so I think I'm just going to take this one here, just with the slight adjustments. I think that's good enough, honestly. There we go. Yeah, that's unavoidable, honestly, to do a good angle. But, yeah, sorry if you guys couldn't understand me very clearly throughout the stream. I know this one's a bit of a shorter one. I did kind of average around the 3-hour mark, which is what I thought it would be. We're just hitting like 3:06 now, so it is pretty good time, even though I did go on my tangents. But the reason why I say that, like, please let me know if I am talking too fast or talking too slow or something, or not clear enough. It's because back when I was growing up, I mean, never diagnosed, but I believe that I stuttered a bit, and it actually took me quite a bit of time to adjust that. So yeah, I hope it all sounds clear, and I hope you guys can actually hear it in the VODs. And I think at times, especially when I get kind of nervous sometimes too, like you start like hearing it a bit, but like it's mostly like back to, you know, good now. It's just I was kind of worried that you guys don't fully hear what I'm trying to say. So I just hope that when this comes out in the VOD that it's all good and nobody has problems. Like don't be afraid to tell me if like you do hear it and stuff. Like I really will try to like brushing that up a bit, maybe talk a bit slower, maybe talk with a different vocal projection, because I can do that as well. But I haven't really heard from anyone, so I'm assuming it's good. So I'm just gonna assume it's good, because I think I'm gonna drive myself crazy if I think that I'm not speaking clearly, because it was just such a big anxiety of mine for so many years. I don't know. I think I'm fine. So yeah, I guess I can just end in this very calm and I guess serene. I mean, that's not the right word. Serene bath. What else would I call it? But, thank you everyone for sticking around. I know a few of you probably had to head out because it was getting quite late. Noko probably crashed afterwards after stream. Usually that's what happens when you stream for a bit. You're just like, you don't want to do anything after that. So thank you so much for the raid again, Noko, and for everyone coming along with them just to kind of like see me ramble a bit for the last few builds. Yeah, I'm still thankful that anyone even came over, because like I said, when you guys initially raided over, I was initially just going to record this off stream because I believed that there was a lot that I had to explain about the GPO stuff, and I wasn't sure how fluid it would be if I took my own screenshots in between. Usually Alora's the one taking those shots, or she's the one posting the links or posting the addresses so that I can kind of continue on with speaking about it. But because I'm alone today, I kind of wanted to try it out to see how well I could balance with everything, and it seemed to have went fine, actually. A lot shorter than we usually go for. But mind you, like, we also had a lower number of rooms as well. We usually see a lot more than the 20 that we see today. And I think this one's just a bit more laid back, which is kind of nice. I just kind of was able to explore like each individual studio without really much pressure. So yeah, not quite as lively as the other ones, but yeah, it is a weekday and a weeknight, so wasn't really expecting too much. I will take this opportunity though to say that I don't know if I'll be doing this again until Sunday. Probably not, because it seems to be going to be quite a busy week for me until the weekend. But on Sunday we have another, so basically what I've been trying to do is like a weekly Sunday afternoon kind of stream with Alora, because that's pretty much like one of the only times that we can really make it together consistently. And I just like to relax on the Sunday, kind of get the errands out of the way on the Saturday. So, but what I was gonna say was that we actually have like a very special exclusive stream that we're going to try on the Sunday. So this is basically the Sunday coming up. So that's Sunday, March the 16th at 2 p.m. Eastern. It's gonna be a bit different. We're gonna see how it goes and see how potentially funny it could be if this actually is enjoyable to watch. But that's what we're planning for anyways. It could, if we don't end up doing that, it will probably be another studio stream. Like not like a JPO studio stream, but like another JP studio stream where there's like multiple rooms in the house. But I really want to try that new thing that we've been planning for this Sunday. And if this Sunday you guys can't make it, or you guys aren't really interested in the new special stream that we have planned, the Sunday after that, actually, so next Sunday, not the one coming up, but next Sunday, on Sunday, March 23rd, we will be starting not at 2 p.m. EST, we'll be starting at 3 p.m. EST, so an hour later than our usual start time. We have the one and only Decibel, a designer from OCE, who's going to be on our show. So we are going to be looking at Decibel's builds, her build posts, her ideology, what she thinks about the housing landscape, what she thinks about the evolution of housing, and basically what Decibel thinks, what she designs, dive deep inside her mind, kind of get a different perspective on how she looks at it hailing from the OCE region, when most of us, I believe, besides Alora, she's from OCE as well, but most of us come from either NA or EU, and then sometimes JP, but pretty much most of us come from NA and EU, so it'd be kind of nice to see a kind of different side of housing and what insights she have that differ from our perspectives, and anything new we can learn. Like, we learned quite a bit from Saran, and Saran is, I mean, she's been around for like years and years and years, but that's the thing, like, we want the variety and stuff like that. So like, I just really hope to get more of you guys on and just kind of seeing how each other think, and I think it's going to be very enjoyable. So look forward to that in the next couple coming weeks. But yeah, until then, there's not really, I'm just trying to look here. Yeah, there's not really anyone I really want to raid to, really. Like, most of these people are DJs, and it's a completely different vibe. Like, I used to be heavily involved with the club scene, not really anymore. I just kind of visit when I can, kind of thing. But I really don't want to be raiding into any of those people, just because the vibe shift is just completely different. I kind of want to end things on a very somber, very like calm housing kind of housing talk kind of vibe. So I think with that said, I'm just gonna end the stream here and go on a bit of a get some food, maybe get some rest, and then kind of get ready for the day tomorrow. So right now it's currently like 5 p.m. Eastern for me, so it's kind of like after work time. So I'm probably just gonna like chill out, just get some food. But yeah, thank you so much everyone for stopping by. Not as talkative as previous weeks, but like I said, that's to be expected. This was like a pop-up that I was doing, seeing what I could do with the G-pose kind of, the G-pose tutorials kind of thing, as I was doing the visits. So yeah, hopefully I can do more of these, because I actually had a lot of fun with these, despite not having the usual engagement that I'm usually used to. But no, I actually found this really fun. I might actually do this again, but with a separate studio in the near future, maybe in a different region. About that, guys, oh my god, I don't want to go a whole tangent again towards the end, but I really encourage any Western designer to actually make a G-pose studio or something. I actually was planning to make one on when I was still on JP, but then again, it would have been another JP design studio, right? So, but that was before I came back to NA. But I know like Noah has one, Toshi Studios on Merilith, Dynamis Merilith, he has one there. I mean, I was part of that FC as well, like years ago, and I don't know, it kind of died off a bit, and people kind of got busy and they started moving around to different regions, started having their own housing projects or stuff like that, and yeah, I don't really go there anymore. And maybe I'll try to revitalize that with him and talk to him about that and see if we can get some more, maybe some of you newer designers that aren't really from that region or they want to make an alt there. Noah Saitoshi does have a housing studio on NA Dynamis Merilith, and there's lots and lots of rooms available. I believe the last time I checked, because I left that FC because I had many other projects going on outside of that, but I believe the last time I checked there was about like 30 rooms full there, so there's still quite a bit of rooms to kind of go through. I might tour there eventually, maybe if more people join, but yeah, if like any of you housing designers are out there and want to kind of like drop an alt in there, like I'm pretty sure he'd be more than happy to take you guys in, and I'd be happy to see what you have and stuff, right? It just makes it better for everyone. I don't know if there's one on EU that has like a studio. Like maybe some of the EU folks, you want to like message me afterwards or whatever, because I don't think I've seen an EU studio. I've definitely seen like GPO studios, but not like a designer studio like I've seen primarily on JP, and then like the one or two that I've ever known in NA. Because like the one I toured for MGM Studios, right, with Maple and Zevin, when I had that stream and I had them in the call, we had the movie studio there, and then the only other one is Noah's Toshi Studios, and then besides that, I believe most people are pretty individual on their housing. A lot of people just kind of have like the solo housing, if they can even get housing, because NA is absolutely insane. Like I know like probably some of you, especially from Noko's raid or from the EU, and housing can be kind of hard there as well, but I don't think it's nearly as hard as NA. And just because the player base alone, it's like night and day, like how many people are playing on NA. Like I used to like play on Ether a lot, like on Fairy and Sargatanis, and those like they would almost always be congested. Like you wouldn't be able to even make a character there, and it's like I've never really seen much congestion on EU, like maybe for a couple months period at a time, but for the most part all the servers are standard. So that's kind of why I encourage like people, if you guys like are doing housing over there, and like I know a lot of people do, it's like I hope like you guys like make like an EU studio there. It'd be really nice to see, just so that we have like an alternative place to visit, or just so that we can see more representation within all the regions as opposed to just NA or just J. It's basically just JP. Basically, NA only has a couple. It's basically just a JP only thing, and I don't want to see just JP. Like I want to be able to see what you guys think about how to design GPO studios. I want to see, you know, your European style, like what you guys have to bring, which you do have your own style and your own proclivities to certain ways to do things, and that's the same with NA as well. Like I just really want to see different ways that you guys approach doing the studio builds, and I wonder how chaotic it would be to have just like, multiple designers all in one house and seeing how that goes, because maybe that's the reason why, because I know that on JP people are extremely orderly. Like they will not step on your toe. Like they won't even like dare cross any kind of boundary. And I think that's why like it works on JP, because like they're so like orderly that like really no conflict really arises when they have multiple, like, you know, because like you gotta like imagine like if all you have like 20 big, like that studio that I went to with Alora on Sunday, they only have like 200 designers there, like, and a lot of them are really crazy big. So like, can you imagine like the egos too? Because like you have to be realistic. Some of them do have really big egos, and it's like if you even have 20 of them in a room together, like who knows what would happen, what they would say to each other, right? For the most part, the housing community to me is pretty supportive, but I also know that when you get to a certain level or certain echelon of that, you know, specific skill, or I mean, dare I say profession, I guess I can say that in this regard, but you start to get some egos, right? That just basically just naturally happens in every kind of industry. So it's like maybe that's why people in NA and EU aren't like pushing for housing studios. I really don't know the reason, but I really hope that maybe if this reaches a couple people, or at least maybe you can tell your friends about it, or like maybe tell other aspiring designers in the Western scene, like maybe something to consider, right? I think it would just be kind of nice to see more people and what you guys can come up with. So yeah, I just always want to grow more. I just don't want to see the same thing over and over again. So I mean, JP is like pretty much gods at housing. I still think that they are really, really good, and there's a lot of great talent out there, but I want to see more talent from other regions. I just don't want to see the same kind of style over and over again. Like, and maybe if you guys do build out those GPO studios or designer studios on NA and EU, I won't have to write "this is amazing" in every single room. I mean, I guess I could just to continue the continuity, but I really would much rather like put more expressive or like meaningful replies in the message book, because I just don't want to like just say like "this is amazing" and then like, you know, like I want to write something personal in there maybe when I go visit, and actually have an extrapolation of thoughts and like something more in depth than just, you know, basic English, so in hopes that a lot of the Japanese local population can understand like what I'm saying. Like that's like part of the reason why I don't want to like put like an entire explanation, because I just don't think they would really understand it too well, or they take it out of context or something, which is the last thing I want to happen. I could type in Japanese, and because I do know basic Japanese, but again, like it's just like not really my native language, not really too comfortable giving it any kind of like I guess positive feedback other than "this is amazing" or "this is nice," you know. So it'd be kind of nice to just talk to, I guess, like native English speakers like around NA and EU, so that, well, I guess EU is a bit different. Like not everyone's native English, right? Like it could be your second language, but pretty much for the most part, I believe most people in the EU can speak English as well, and that's what I mean. It's like the proficiency. I mean, like it's definitely better than basic. In JP, it's either basic or none. So yeah. Anyways, I don't know why I had to explain all that, but I think the reason why I had to explain that is because I don't know. I guess because I'm in a more of a public platform now, like I have to be kind of like cognizant of other people's interpretations of what I'm saying. So I'm sure all of you guys understand, because I haven't really heard any complaints yet. Well, I guess yet. not yet. But one of these days I will, which will be an eventuality that I will be prepared for. But yeah, I don't think I've said anything too crazy yet, and I think I would have been canceled by now if that was the case. And oh my god, watch Twitch just like cancel me the next day and you never see the stream again. But no, I don't think that's gonna happen. Oh, Laura, I didn't even notice you come in. You know, you came in a while back too. I just kind of went on this crazy tangent. Well, the good thing about you, Laura, is that I believe, like this is just based on experience, like I believe Twitch has more respect for me just because you kind of go off the rail a lot. So I believe that if they were to pick me over you in terms of who they would cancel, actually, no, it would probably be me because I have such bad luck. I think I would just get canceled. Actually, you're right. I think next time, let's say I do get canceled or whatever, Alora will be the main Housing Talk host, and maybe she will invite Saran on instead, you know? I was thinking of actively replacing her with other designers, maybe, just because Alora sometimes is a bit subpar, and I don't even know why she's a moderator, but... Guys, I'm joking, okay? This is why I turn off clips, because I don't allow anyone to take things out of context. I mean, I do see some spicy stuff that's within context, but I still don't want that being misconstrued because, like I said, like Alora and I have like pretty really dry, sarcastic humor, and like if you guys don't know us like very well, you're like, oh my god, this guy's an asshole. Why would he say that to her? Or like, why would he like make these like brutal comments about other people like that? It's like, no, it's like I'm literally just being sarcastic. And I think with the tonality, if you are more of like a native English speaker, you can tell. But that, yeah, like I said, that's why I don't really want to be offending anyone who's not like a native speaker, because I think sometimes like we get a bit overboard sometimes. Yeah, I am joking. You're the one not joking, Laura. Seriously. Yeah. I love how I said I'm gonna end the stream. I love how I said I'm gonna end the stream soon. That was like half an hour ago. I'm like, oh yeah, we're just about at the 3-hour mark, and then I'm like, yeah, let me just like give you some closing statements. And then I gave you like a whole spill about things. That's usually what happens, yeah. Alora says, why do I always find you sitting in a bath? What do you always? This is like the second bath I've been in, and that was both builds for today. We haven't been to any other build with a bath, have we? Maybe the one that Yurumi had on OCE, right? Like she had the one washroom there, but other than that, nobody else had a bath, did they? And I'm not sitting, I'm actually standing, aren't I? If I know correctly. Yeah, I'm standing. You're completely wrong, Alora. I'm standing in the bathtub. Yeah, I should. Not for once. You've been wrong before, Alora. It's just very rare. Like, I understand you want to keep your like ego in check and stuff, but you've been wrong more than once. And unfortunately, well, I mean, not unfortunately, I have to call you out on that because you can't be right all the time. No one's Miss Perfect. No one's Mr. Perfect either. So, yeah, we don't want that elitism here, Alora. Yeah, but you guys know I'm joking though. Like I'm it's just so chill here. Like I just really hope that everyone is not like scared. Like, oh my god, this guy is such an asshole. No. I don't want people thinking that. So, well, I guess you can think that if you want, but I guess it just means that you have one less thing to enjoy in life, which is that's not how I think. So, what's what you say? You have one less thing to enjoy in life? Like, there's no point? Yeah, there really is no point. Like, you might as well. That's what I was kind of saying earlier, Laura, but you were still at work. Like, I was giving a whole speech about how you shouldn't limit yourselves and you should always actively be improving no matter what. Because as soon as you give up, it's over. And then you start limiting yourselves in other things. Once you close that one door, you're going to close multiple other doors related to that. And then it just becomes like a whole like spiderweb downward spiral effect where you're constantly limiting yourselves and like judging yourselves very harshly on certain things. So, oh my god, this guy's such a oh, I guess you got flagged by the bot there, the non-existent bot that stopped you from saying whatever you were gonna say. Yeah. But yeah, like it's kind of heading around like the 3:30 mark. I can't believe I think there's still some of you in chat. Well, maybe it's just me and Alora just like bickering, but whatever. Like, I guess it's better than going to a DJ stream, right? There's literally no one I can rate, guys. It's like, okay, Rexy, Knight, Nitley, Miyu, Faye, like Lacey, A. Like they're all EU DJs. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that like their vibe's completely different. They don't play melodic. It's literally like horror or like screamo or like rock and stuff. It's completely different, the vibe. Like, can you imagine going from this beautiful orchestrion, soft piano tones, soft string tones to literally like some rock concert? I can't do that to you guys, and I can't do that to your ears either. So, I'm not a total asshole. See, I actually care about you guys. I won't completely send you into the depths. Laura says that sounds like a lot of work closing doors. Wait, what do you mean closing doors? Oh, yeah, I should have heard that before. Yeah, like it is a lot. Like, you're absolutely right about that, Laura. It is a lot more work than it should be. Like, why shut that door on yourself, right? Like, why even bother taking the effort of closing that door and limiting yourself? Like, it's almost like more work to do that. Like, it might not seem like it at the time because it's a very short-term, right? Like a short-term relief when you close that door. But then when you think about it in the long term, it's like, okay, if I close this one door, that means that X, Y, Z, however many variables, is already closed. So, maybe I should just change the Housing Talk title to like ISO Talk or something, where it's just like me going off on like life rants. I wonder if people would like that, to be honest. Alora, if you and I just talked about like life and stuff, like if we just had like a break in the podcasts and just instead of like talking about housing, we're just talking about life, I feel like that'd be very depressing, honestly. ISO rants and Alora. I'll call it ISO rants and Alora constantly interrupts. That's all I'll call the show. And we'll see how successful we are when we go for like 7 hours because you can't stop interrupting me. I would love to prepare several theses for that though. That would be pretty awesome. But, no, I think that would be important. Alora the Wise. Oh my god, I can't believe you even said that, Alora. That's embarrassing, man. Alora the Wise? Jeez, I just don't know what to say with that, Alora. Yeah, you don't even know what to say with that. Anyways, I should really end this stream, guys, because we're literally, like, I literally had a 30-minute closing speech. So, I really don't want to keep you guys here any longer. I mean, if you guys just are lurking or whatever, like, I don't know if you are, because for me personally, I've always hide all my counts and stuff, so I don't know who's actually here or not, but like whatever. It's like, if you guys are still here, I'm so sorry for extending this closing speech. I'm turning into Noah, aren't I, Laura? Literally saying, oh, I'm on to my final 2 songs, and then it ends up being like 7 hours. Like, it's like, oh my god, there's an after party 3 hours later, you know? I'm still talking about my closing speech. But yeah, I just, I don't know, I just have too much to say, I guess. And sometimes it's a bit better to be a bit more real as opposed to like always constantly just talking about the build. Like, no, I want to talk more than just the build. I want to be able to be a bit more relatable because I just don't see the point in not being that. Because like, think about it, like when you go to work, it's like pretty much for the most part you're there just to make small talk and move business along, right? Like, yeah, I guess you can quote unquote make friends from work, but for the most part it's kind of like, hey, like, what's it going to take to move this conversation along faster so I can go home, or so that we don't potentially get into some workplace conflict that starts affecting you personally, right? So it's like, I think for the most part people just kind of make small talk and they move on. Or the worst is when people don't even talk at all. I think that's the worst part, actually. And I think maybe it's only for something that Laura and I suffers, but it's just like, oh my god, I can't, like, I just gotta like turn around or something, you know, like stare at the wall maybe, and maybe talk to the wall instead. I don't know, like, it's just sometimes it's like really awkward, man. It's like, I get why people can be closed off to certain things, or maybe they don't want to reveal certain things, but there's a difference between revealing your inner darkest, most secrets and be able to engage in small talk and keeping the conversation flowing. Because I mean, most of the small talk is just like bullshit anyways, right? So it's like, I think it's like almost like and that's what I'm saying too. It all goes back to like the skill you have to train, right? As soon as you stop making small talk, you're not going to be able to actually effectively do that in situations where it could be bad for you if you don't engage in small talk, right? So it's like, well, not bad, like, you know, lose your life or anything like that, but I'm saying bad as in it might hinder you from certain experiences or opportunities if you don't know how to, right? Yeah, so it's like if you just stop talking all of a sudden, like, you're going to want to stop talking in every scenario. Like, this is so crazy because, like, yeah, I like to talk to walls too, Alora, because, like, walls can't talk back. That sounds so horrible, but it's true. Walls can't talk back, and sometimes it's just good to get your thoughts out there, right? Like, you just want to be able to do some self-reflection. Maybe you're the one who's wrong in the situation. And that's a realization that you cannot come to unless you actively... Like, it's always nice to speak aloud, right? Like, even if it's not to someone, like an animate object, like, even if it's, like, literally an inanimate object, if you speak to them enough, you'll start to realize how ridiculous you could be. So, like, and then you start realizing the faults in your own ways of approaching things, and maybe you're the one who's wrong, like I said, in a certain social situation. So it's like, yeah, I think, I totally think that should be a hashtag, Alora, like, talk to walls or something, right? I think that should be encouraged. Maybe we're just getting too, I think I'm getting too crazy about this because now we're going on a whole, like, ISO rants, like, final hour of the day kind of thing. But, yeah, I truly believe that, self-reflection goes a long way. And, being able to engage in conversations like small talk and being able to let the conversations flow is just such an important life skill. So I guess you don't really need that in housing though, so what am I saying? It's just you pretty much just like buy the items, craft the items, put them into buildings. You don't really have to say anything to anyone, right? But Laura says, talk to the wall because it'll listen. Oh man, we're getting onto some mad tangent now. We gotta stop. It's so funny how I say we have to stop when I'm the one in control of pressing stop on OBS. I guess I was going to say at least this is a bit better than the last time when we had the JP tour and we literally talked for like an hour and a half about like Guild Wars and like WoW and stuff and how like they're starting to release housing. Which I have to say here actually, now that I do mention that. For any of you guys who want to migrate over to the other MMO to do housing, like I'm all for it. Like you guys should just try, you know, kind of let me know how it is, because I definitely won't be moving on to a separate MMO just to try housing. I feel like it's a bit much to do that. Like I wouldn't move unless I also liked the MMO as well. I used to play WoW, so it's like I just like I'd have to like the game enough to actually move. But I will say this is exactly what I said last time as well. And it's just my opinion. It could be wrong, who knows. But what I wanted to say was that if you're looking to really dive deep into housing, to something that's already laid out, it's structured, it's had many years of existence, I highly suggest sticking to 14 to doing it because A, it's been here for so many years, although it has its flaws. B, the community has already been built up over the years. And C, people in FF kind of like naturally gravitate towards the creative side of things. Like I would say like WoW as an MMO, like to me, I believe WoW is a bit better in terms of combat because there's like more difficult things to do in WoW for combat, which is why I think WoW is better than 14 in combat. So if you really like combat, WoW is probably the better option. Guild Wars, you can't beat the free accessibility to it, not having to pay for a sub. You can go back to it at any time, catch up on any expansion. Unfortunately, they haven't released expansion in so long that it's like, if you're okay with replaying the same thing over and over again, then yeah. But again, it's free, so it's like, you know, there's pros and cons to every MMO. But what I really wanted to stress is that I just don't think that those other two MMOs will ever surpass 14 in housing. It just seems highly unlikely considering what I just explained, that both have their own niches as to why people play them, and people play 14 because of the creative niche and the openness of the community in that sense that has been built over time. Like you can't just like I mean, who knows what happened in ancient times, but it's like, oh man, this is going to get into conspiracies now, wow, about how like pyramids were built and stuff. Like you can't just instantly be like, well, so let's just say they all did it by hand and there was no conspiracy and there was no alien intervention. That would take so damn long to build one period, man, especially with the technology they had back then. So it's like, to expect an MMO like Guild Wars, to apply that same logic, to expect something like Guild Wars or WoW to just somehow eclipse 14 in housing would be pretty unrealistic, I think. Yes, they can attempt to do housing, but I just don't think that, unless they have some like pro designer who like knows the ins and outs about housing in virtual spaces and how to sustain those housing communities within an online community outside of the game, like that takes a lot of like creativity to actually, not only to actually implement, but also to sustain that longevity based on the player base that is current for both games. So it's like, wait, what are you saying ISO ... I think everything that I'm saying is pretty real. Like, I mean, it's not like I'm just saying, oh, like, there's no way that it could possibly be, you know? Oh, you have to go? Yeah, I probably should go too, honestly. That's probably a hint to just be quiet, but... yeah, I probably should wrap this up. Yeah. Well, anyways, I guess I will end the stream now on a not positive note. Just say 14, yay 14 housing. I guess, yeah. I'm totally confident when I say that. No, don't worry, Laura. I knew I had to wrap this up eventually. I would have went on to like the 4-hour mark if you didn't say anything. But yeah, really, guys, like I really do believe that 14 is really on an upwards trajectory now, because of streamers like myself, because of streamers like Nakota, who recently started, streamers like Eve, who really heavy into the housing stuff, doing that whole housing award show at the end of the year last year that I wasn't a part of because I was taking a hiatus, but doing these community events that are actively growing, connecting the community outside of the actual game is what is totally needed for us to thrive. And I really do believe that this is the year where we are going to skyrocket in terms of the housing community closeness and how bonded we are. Because for a long time, I'd say the past 3 years maybe, it's been pretty cold in housing. And I don't mean that people aren't supportive of each other. I mean that it's all about, hey, let's like this post and retweet it, and then nobody says anything in between, right? It's like no one's actively commenting on people's builds saying, oh, this is so amazing, let me go visit it, and then having the author reply to them and be like, oh my god, I can't wait for you to come see my build, and then have someone else reply saying, hey, look, I posted all these photos about your build. Like I didn't see any of that when I started. And the fact that we come this far and actually have other housing content creators and other creatives, you know, be on Twitch, be doing like the awards shows like Eve, and then like kind of like trying to bring intersecting communities together, like say people from the G-Post community or from the rating community, having them kind of see what more they can possibly do with housing. Like for instance, last Friday when I had my JP design tour, a couple of my FC mates from my NA main on Sargatanis, they are ultimate raiders. They have no business even watching housing. They only came because I invited them out, and they said, oh my god, I didn't realize housing was like so involved, right? I didn't understand how much technical aspect and how much technical manipulation that you can do to make certain things and evoke certain feelings. And they would have never known that if they had never stepped into one of these streams, right? Because they would, like, what would be the point? It's like, let me just raid, leave me alone, right? It's like, that's what they like to do, that's what they like to do. But I think now that we are kind of like on the precipice of, I would say, changing that conversation around, changing the discourse about, I'm only a raider, I'm only a designer, I'm only a G-poser. And then that's why I like said before too, guys, don't limit yourselves, because you can be involved in multi-intersectional communities. Like, it doesn't have to just be, I'm only a raider and that's that. Like, I just think that's just like too self-limiting anyways. Like, you can be multiple things if you want to be. So, oh, Laura, thank you so much. This is amazing, eh? Lorelei Rain, another Lalafell who I've known for years and years and years. And, yeah, like, we clubbed a lot together. We've done content together. I mean, like I said, like there's no limit to like how much you can do to enjoy the game, and especially if you have these welcoming communities. Well, I hope it's a welcoming. I really hope so, and I'm not just going on some random tangent. But like, the more people who can embrace this kind of mindset and have this open conversation where you're not downplaying someone else's community, or you're not like shitting on another community. You're simply saying that I am open to these experiences, I am open to growing, and in some way, shape, or form, you can intersect them and still be fine. And not only still be fine, but almost double or triple, you know, how much engagement the game's actually getting, which means that the devs also would know what to focus on improving, which is why, like I said earlier, when I don't think anyone was here earlier, that Dawn Trail, if they improve their MSQ, it could possibly be the best expansion, because of just based on all the quality of life changes they've made from 7.0 last June all the way up till now. It hasn't even been a year, right? And they've already made several quality of life improvements in between that time span, as opposed to previous years where they couldn't care less and they just kind of like let things go to the wayside. But yeah, I think they're really starting to try to be intersectional as well, and try to listen to the more foreign audiences like NA and EU, because for most of the time that I've been playing, at least, I guess Alora and Laura could probably tell you differently because they've been in the game much longer than me. Like, they can probably tell you that, like, they only listen to JP, basically. Like, they'll only read the forums. They won't give a shit really about what NA and EU has to say about certain designs and the systems and the flaws. Every change that I've ever seen when I first started was purely based on JP criticism. So, and I don't really think it's like a racist thing. It's more so like they're so conservative and so closed off to themselves that like it's almost like any foreign concept is almost like not applicable. Well, that's how I felt like they felt. But I really think now it's changing a bit, especially with the advent of Endwalker, the whole, you know, post-WoW, like Blizzard going down kind of boom, where a lot of WoW players came over. And that really pushed the venue community to start too, because the large influx of players. So, yeah, I just think that, you know, because of that constant drive to be open to different experiences, maybe you will go to a nightclub one day. Maybe you will put that partition down in your house one day. Maybe you will try that savage raid that you never tried before. All of this non-limiting things that you're doing will eventually perpetuate the rest of us to go even stronger and more confident towards our goals. So it's like, you might as well not limit yourself so that in the end, everyone else can flourish. And that's basically, I know that was a big tangent, but that's basically all the reasons why I don't think that Guild Wars and WoW can make a housing community that's stronger than 14. It just doesn't seem likely. So that's why, especially for HousingTalk, there's almost zero way that I would ever switch an MMO entirely just to experience housing, because it just doesn't seem like it's a valid enough reason for me to do so. Especially since we are on a forward trajectory, like I said, with the advent of all these housing content creators that have been appearing the last like 6 months or so. So, yeah, and yeah, it's just like what happened on, was it on Friday or Saturday? I forget. That was the day we did the Fates, Alora. The one where you got me to like have to help you through all those fates. And then something poorly happened to my character, right? Very recently, but I saw a post from a very accomplished designer, Danny Love, who is an NA designer who does commissions, and she literally shouted out a bunch of us on X saying that, oh, I'm so glad that we're able to freely speak about, you know, making content for the housing community, try to connect people. And she's totally right about that. Like, I was thinking the same thing too. It's like, you didn't have this like a year ago where there was people actively mentioning housing and actively trying to bridge people. But now that we have like it's still a fairly small set of people who do it, now that we have this environment, this structure that's slowly being built out, I do believe that 14 housing can become a very major part of 14's overall success, which would mean that the overall base of the game would be improved exponentially. And so I just don't really see the point of giving that up to go to another MMO when I can still stay active in this community and try to grow that out. And I can't do that without you guys either. You guys are here supporting the streams, you guys are here supporting the housing community as a whole, and if we were to do it, we need to all work together to make sure that happens. I don't want to be sitting here like 10 years down the road and being like, oh man, I wish like I would have like just kept pushing for inclusivity in housing or inclusivity in the other social spheres in the game. I don't want to be, I really would feel guilty if I jumped ship to another MMO just purely based on kind of like a, I don't want to say it's like a non-valid reason, but like it almost is that, right? It's like, why give up on something that's just getting good, right? It's like, yeah, I just think it's kind of like illogical to do, right? Because it's like, why would I jump ship if it's still good, right? Like, I would understand if the whole housing thing crashed all of a sudden in 14. Let's say they completely removed housing. or something like that, right? And you had to move, and I understand that. But considering the way that they're going and the way they're giving us like items, ever since 7.0, they've been releasing many housing items that are not only practical, like they're multi-purpose, and you can dye them multi-dye channels, and they're already retroactively putting those dye channels in other older items too. So it's like I just can't see how it could get worse after this. The only way it could go is better. So yeah. That's probably enough though, isn't it? I love how this stream is called HousingTalk Sun Studios with ISO. Probably should have changed that a long time ago, shouldn't I? Laura says, both days we did Fates. Wait, what do you mean both days? You mean the Friday and the Saturday? I think? I don't even remember now, but... yeah, I feel like everyone's probably asleep by now, so I think I should... and I'm kind of getting there too. I think I've just talked way too much, so... I love how Laura's like, oh yeah, like you should wrap this up, and that was like half an hour ago, so I should really wrap it up now. And yeah, that's a wrap, I guess, guys. And thank you everyone who stuck around still for the entire time, even though I did go on kind of like a, I wouldn't say crazy tangent, but I guess a tangent that could have been saved for another time. But yeah, I just hope you guys like still continue to support your local housing designers. Support your local communities. Don't quit what you're doing. You know, if you love fishing, keep fishing. And maybe try something else on top of that. If you like housing, keep housing. Maybe try raiding. It's just gonna grow us to a point where 14 will naturally become better as a game. So yeah, I don't want to see it die out. And I think Yoshi P was pretty serious when he said that he wants to keep working on it for the next 10 years, which I think it's possible if we keep positively encouraging ourselves to get better and to not let self-doubt creep into our minds. So yeah, anyways, really anyways, I should go now, and yeah, I'll see you guys all later. And thank you for taking care of that, Alora, seriously. The thing that came up earlier. Maybe you're a good mod after all, and maybe I will keep you around. But yeah, thank you so much for everyone being here, and yeah, thank you so much, Laura. We got to catch up soon, and I'm really glad to see you again. And for anyone else who's out there, or anyone who's even lurking or anything, or just like maybe you're not here anymore, but I'll see you guys all later on this Sunday when we have the very, very special stream. And yeah, I will see you guys later. Have a great rest of your night, and goodbye.